to say I I'm just calling to say
Islam Makhachev is one win away from standing alone in UFC history. Ian Machado, Garry, one win away from detonating the entire welterweight division. 16 straight UFC wins for Islam, tied with Anderson Silva. 17 tonight, and nobody in UFC history has ever done it. Not even his mentor and coach, Khabib Nurmagomedov. But Garry is 17-1. He's 6'3". He's younger. He's longer. He's beaten Carlos Prates and Bilal Muhammad, and he spent this entire week telling everybody the same thing. Islam has to catch him before he can beat him. This is dominance against defiance, greatness against belief, the pound-for-pound king against a challenger who has been telling us for years that this moment was coming. And if that isn't enough, Mackenzie Dern puts the strawweight championship on the line against Gillian Robertson in a collision between two of the most dangerous submission artists that women's MMA has ever seen. Dern has the belt. Robertson has 5 straight wins and the most submissions in UFC women's history, and neither one of them wants to stay away from the exact place where the other woman is most dangerous. 2 title fights, UFC history on the line, a massive underdog trying to shock the world, and 5 main card fights loaded with finishers, killers, legends, and betting opportunities everywhere you look. Streaming live around the world, this is MMA Weekly's live coverage of UFC 330. What is up, fight fans? My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. You know us. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. It feels like the #1 UFC show in the business as we do it on fight nights, the numbered events every single time. And man, oh man, there's a lot to get into before these 5 main card fights get rolling. And Edson Barboza making his way to the octagon right now, one of those veterans I was talking about. He's going to kick off the main card. He's walking into the cage right now, man. But the main event is what everybody's talking about right now. Islam chasing history. Garry chasing immortality. Mackenzie Dern trying to prove that winning the championship was the beginning, not the destination. Gillian Robertson thinks she can drag one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners in women's MMA into a violent grappling fight. Wouldn't we love to see that, right? I mean, obviously, Mackenzie Dern's father taught her well. She's a multiple-time champion as well. He's one of the best in the world. But underneath all of it, we have some absolutely fascinating storylines, gambling numbers, all kinds of things going on as the UFC makes its return to Philadelphia, the great American city of Philadelphia, man. And I will tell you what, 16 in a row for Islam, same as Anderson Silva. Tonight, he could set the record. And we've got Edson Barboza kicking it off against Esteban Rivics. And a big favorite is Esteban tonight. And Barboza, the veteran, is a plus 525 dog. And he's 40 years old, man. Edson Barboza, the long-time veteran. And we'll get more on this fight in just a moment. But you could be seeing history, and one of Anderson Silva's sacred UFC records could go by the wayside tonight, man. Islam 28-1. He has beaten Charles Oliveira. He's beaten Alexander Volkanovski 2 times. Dustin Poirier, Renato Moicano, Jack Della Maddalena, you name it. And in November, he goes to 170 and dominates Della Maddalena to become a 2-division UFC champion. That's after 4 successful lightweight championship defenses. So he's not protecting a padded record. Look at the names he has run through. And Khabib asked if Islam could be the GOAT, because a lot of people think Khabib's the GOAT, which is ridiculous. It's Jones. But his answer wasn't no. He said Islam still has records to chase. Jones, Demetrius Johnson, but absolutely acknowledged that Islam has put himself in that conversation. Islam doesn't think Garry's a very hard fight, kind of laughing at him, telling him to shut up all week long and saying it's not going to be my biggest challenge. That's a direct quote. He acknowledges that Garry has good striking and wrestling defense, but man, I really think this is a tough matchup for Ian Machado Garry, but Garry doesn't think Islam. He says you can't wrestle something you can't touch. So I'm looking forward to breaking this fight down all night long here for you. And obviously, we've got a whole bunch of things happening before then. And it's Edson Barboza against, Esteban Ribovics. And 24-14, unranked in the UFC official rankings. Barboza, longtime fan favorite, obviously been fighting for a seriously long time, man. And Ribovics, excuse me. I knew I was going to do that. 15-3, unranked as well. Herb Dean is the ref, and this could be Barboza's final UFC fight. You know what I'm saying? As they get set to start this one, he's 24-14 overall. Got a huge UFC career going all the way back to 2010. You know, I mean, nobody knows where he is in his career, but the wheel kick, the leg kicks, the spinning attacks, the violence, one of the most recognizable kickers in UFC history as they start right now. Barboza and Ribovics, and they exchanged leg kicks. How apropos for Barboza, who lost last time out, first round KO to Jalen Turner, who is 2 fights away on this same card, by the way, tonight. And really pumped to have you with me. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. We're here all night long, settling in on MMA Weekly's YouTube. Throw us a like, a sub. You know what it is. We love these super chats, as well as these 2 guys throwing heat in the pocket right now, opening up this main card at lightweight. Edson Barboza has been around forever. I mean, you start thinking of him like he precedes the octagon, you know, like before the Zuffa purchase, you know what I'm saying? Way before then. But no, I mean, it's crazy. But a nice start for Barboza, landing some leg kicks. Ribovic's younger, faster. He's a pressure fighter. 15-3, has 7 career KOs, 5 submission wins, and he catches Barboza with a big left hook to the right eye. And I don't know if I see blood there yet or not. But Barboza clenching up right away. And Ribovic's a huge favorite, as I mentioned, in this fight. The over 1.5 is -154. Under 1.5 is +120. I think I see blood coming out of the right eye of Barboza already. It's definitely got a big mouse underneath it. He's gotten caught a couple of times there already. And, you know, I mean, a disrespectful line to one of the purest kickers and, you know, nice strikers in UFC history, Edson Barboza, but just not really something that, you know, you look at this fight at 40 years old, man. Father Time is undefeated, and not many fighters have fought well at this age in any realm of combat sports, right? Few and far between. You get the George Foremans and the Bernard Hopkins, you know. UFC-wise, you know, maybe a Dan Henderson as he got older, for example. Oh, nice left. Oh, Barboza tags him, and he gets tagged twice in return. Barboza is landing some shots on Ribovics. And, you know, Barboza is obviously a black belt in Taekwondo, a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He's a Muay Thai beast, a savage, has fought at lightweight and featherweight. Again, he's 40 years old as they continue to exchange heavy strikes. Ribovics, by the way, El Gringo, fighting out of Argentina. He's a lightweight, and he's got 15 wins in 18 fights, 7 by knockout, 5 by submission. Whereas Barboza's, man, he was 25-3 in kickboxing, but MMA-wise, he's got 38 fights, 24 wins, 14 by knockout, 1 by submission. He's actually gotten, you know, TKO by leg kicks in his career, a couple and a couple of stoppages by body kicks and leg kicks, and pretty awesome for Barboza. And again, he's fought some big guys, big name guys throughout his career. And Ribovics coming off a loss to Gamrot and Haqparast before that. with a win over Brenner in between. So he's lost 2 out of 3, even though he's a huge favorite tonight. Barboza coming off the loss to Jalen Turner. Told you about that by TKO, but 2 in a row also before that. So 3 in a row total. And 5 out of 7. He lost to Jakar Close by decision, Lerone Murphy by decision. Couple of wins over Yusuf and Quarantillo, but he lost to Bryce Mitchell and Giga Chikadze. But, I mean, he's lost to Ige and Felder and Gaethje. He fought Gaethje in 2019, the champ Justin Gaethje. He's got a loss to Khabib. Remember that one. He's got a loss to Kevin Lee. I mean, he's got wins over Dariush and Gilbert Melendez and Anthony Pettis and Paul Felder, Bobby King Green. I mean, he's got a lot of big wins, but these are a long time ago. As we approach the 1-minute mark in round number 1, Barboza really bleeding from that right eye now. It's just coming down all over the place. The big cut over here, a big pool of blood right there, and a good way to start the fight. You know, some guys just – and he's such a veteran. It's not going to face him. But so far, a nice job by Rybovics. A lot of volume thrown by him. You know, you got to be careful in a fight like this, though. You don't want to gas, and, you know, it's humid on the East Coast. It's been hot this summer. But I think they'll be all right. These guys putting on a show for the fans, though, to open up the main card. I'll tell you that. A couple of big fights on the prelims, too. Dante Johnson with a massive knockout over Eric McConaughey Jr. First round, 138. Unbelievable. Charles Johnson with a twister submission win over Eduardo Henrique. Chidi Njokwani over Joel Alvarez by unanimous decision. Vicente Luque lost again, this time by unanimous decision. Boy, has he hit the skids. Neil Magny with a win on the early prelims. And we have the opening fight of the main card right now. Barboza and Rybovics with 15 seconds left in round number 1 of a scheduled potential 3 to open it up in Philly. And Barboza, as Rybovics comes off the cage throwing heat, hits him again with a right, knocks him down. He's going to get saved by the horn here. 1 second. No, end of the round. What a flurry and what an exchange that led to that flurry. Barboza trying to get back to his corner. That right eye is severely damaged, but he just took a beating at the end of the round from Rybovics, man. I don't know. I mean, he might have something wrong with his foot. Oh, he's got a big cut on the front of his. Oh, no way. His shin is gashed wide open. How in the did that happen? I need replays, UFC staff and replay people. Let's go. We need replays here. Come on now. Let's go. Like 5 minutes later, let's see some replays here. How did this happen? Because Rybovics, it looked like he came off the cage with some sort of a knee and then a punch. But Barboza's got a big gash, and it's a vertical gash right up the front of his shin, right above the ankle, and it looks like it's about maybe 2 or 3 inches long. Yeah, if he kicks with it again, it'll split more. That's what happens. It's like scar tissue on a face. When, like Nate Diaz, every time he gets in the cage or anywhere now, he starts to bleed right away because the scar tissue just busts right open. And when you've thrown as many devastating kicks as Barboza has in his career, man, that thing split open, his eyes split open. All right, here they come, round number 2. They never showed the damn replay. I don't understand what's going on with their production. They better stop trying to do shows on the moon and at the White House and everywhere else and just get the basic shit right again because it's obnoxious and annoying. Anyway, I said what I said. And by the way, while you're in the chat, I want to give you the chance to throw out a roll call. Where are you watching us from tonight? Why are you here? What do you think about Islam potentially making history? Do you like Ian Machado Garry? Do you not like Ian Machado Garry? He embraced his feminine side quite openly, and a lot of people giving him all kinds of shit for it, but a lot of people standing up for him for it, and that's the world we live in right now. And guess what? All those people are fighting. Wouldn't you know? Good Lord, this day and age. I don't even understand half of what's going on in this place anymore. But I'll tell you what, I'm really excited for that main event with Islam going for 17 wins in a row to pass the Spider, Anderson Silva, in UFC history. Now that is a conversation for another day right there. Win, Garry, win. Islam will win. You're in the UK. We got, yep. Let's go, Islam. All right. We got a lot of fans. The numbers already hitting pretty peak levels on MMA Weekly, and Rybovics and Barboza in the clinch. What an elbow from Rybovics, and Barboza stumbling around the octagon. I mean, he took a pounding at the end of the round, and he definitely he got knocked down, and Rybovics swarmed on him, and he got saved by the proverbial horn, not the bell. And now Rybovics is just teeing off, and Herb Dean stops the fight. I mean, Barboza just not blocking anything. It didn't look like he was going down. It didn't look like he was super hurt. Probably an early stoppage from Herb, but the guy's 40 years old, man. You got some brain damage happening there. And I don't know about this stoppage. Herb Dean, what happened to Herb Dean? I don't know what you're feeling right now as you're watching this with me, but Herb Dean stopping that fight. I mean, Barboza's getting peppered up for sure, and Rybovics is showing him love, and they're hugging it out and what have you. But Barboza's right eye is completely swollen. He's got blood coming down everywhere. His right leg, which is his biggest weapon and has always been in the octagon, gashed open on the shin, couldn't really throw kicks with it anymore. And he just was not really blocking any of the shots from Rybovics that were coming through. So that's a big win for Rybovics to get back on track here after losses in 2 of his last 3 fights. He threw a straight right coming at him, hit him with another right. They clench up against the cage, and he had already hit him with a couple of elbows. Barboza trying to keep him, and then a big left elbow right across the front of the nose of Barboza, and not really able to defend himself all that well, and just combinations. And Barboza up against the cage takes another one, a big right hand, and Herb just stopped it. No, that's a bad stoppage. That's a terrible stoppage. Herb Dean's going to get killed for this one. He's going to get ripped. I mean, he used to have to, remember when there used to be the memes of Herb Dean standing over a graveyard with a plot and the headstone, and he's going, nope, you haven't had enough yet. I don't know. But for Barboza, you never know what happened with the corner. I didn't see if anybody threw a towel or if they stopped or whatever, and I don't know for sure, so I don't want to go too crazy. But I know one thing for sure, there'll be 17,000 commercials in between fights for us to talk about this. But I really feel like that's a tough way for Barboza to go out. But you fight to 40 years old, man. It's a cruel sport. The more you age and the less active you are. Look at Conor McGregor when he tried to come back. What happened to him? It's just, it's a cruel sport, and it's a young man's game. Fighting is a young man's game. It's very difficult. Daniel Cormier did it too in advanced age. Stipe tried. Look what happened his last time out against Jones. No matter who you are, no matter what kind of legend, Henry Cejudo, a triple C, trying to be a triple champ. It wasn't going to happen, but he was a double champ and an Olympic gold medalist, right? So you reach a certain point. I mean, Kamaru Usman last time out gets dominated again, and you're just wondering how much longer is this guy going to keep going? It happened to Woodley. It happened to Silva. I could go on forever. It happens to everybody in this sport, which is why Khabib getting out when he did is probably the smartest guy in the world, because you just don't have those memories of him. You don't have the tailspin of Tony Ferguson. And that's, to me, what makes Justin Gaethje so unique, right? What he did against Topuria. Think about that. To keep coming back the way that he has at an advanced age, and, still he's going to fight even more. But it's just, he's the exception, not the rule. The exception, not the rule. It's happened to everybody. I mean, I could keep going on. Look at Junior Dos Santos on the MVP card. It just was horrible to have to watch that. So Bruce Buffer's got the official decision, and we'll let you know the exact time and the methodology by TKO, obviously. At 1:32 of round number 2 is Esteban El Gringo Rybovics from the beautiful, beautiful country of Argentina. And when I say beautiful, I mean the girls who were at the World Cup games. If you were watching, that was the only reason to watch World Cup soccer, were the females in the audience, because no one ever scores with those girls or with the ball. And that's why I can't stand soccer, or football, as a lot of you call it. I mean, you're a bunch of grown men running around for hours and no one scores. It reminds me of the fraternity parties we used to crash in college and take their girls because they didn't know what to do with them. That's what soccer players remind me of. They just chase a ball around for hours and never score. They're like greyhounds chasing the mechanical rabbit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's how I view it. But then they go in the stands and you're seeing like the Argentinian women and you're like, yo, I'm going there. If you know, you know. Give me a shout out in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Give me a shout out in the chat as the numbers surge here on MMA Weekly, the #1 UFC Fight Night show in the business. Not even close. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Appreciate you being here. Look at that, man. How beautiful that arena looks in Philly. The new home of LeBron James and Jaylen Brown to go with Maxey and the Sixers with Joel Embiid. They're going to be filling that place up soon until they all get hurt. And then they're, like an 8th seed by the time the playoffs come around. But he has so much more to show for his fans, is what Rybovics is saying. He paid, tribute and gave love and all sorts of things to Barboza, all due respect to the legend. And I don't know. I haven't seen if Barboza has retired yet, but there he is. And Rogan's talking to him now. He's got the gloves in his hand. I think this is it for Edson Barboza. Yeah, he will lay his gloves down. Oh, respect to Edson Barboza, a true legend in this game. And the crowd in Philly is absolutely acknowledging him. They're on their feet. No matter what you say about Philly, the city of brotherly love. Yeah, right. I mean, obviously that's an oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp, Philly love. But they love you if they get to respect you. And they just don't respect many people. You know what I mean? They threw batteries at Santa Claus and booed him, and they cheered when they thought Michael Irvin was paralyzed. But, 4 losses in a row for Barboza to end his career. He said, I promise I give my best. I really give my best. And, I mean, you're talking about a dude who has fought forever, man. Nothing but respect for Edson Barboza. Wow. Yep, Edson Barboza. Thank you for everything, Joe Rogan says. And what a respectful guy Joe is. He's perfect for that position, obviously. 39 fights now for Barboza, 24-15, 14 wins by KO. I mean, who could ever forget some of the career highlights, the wins over Hooker and Dariush and Gilbert Melendez and Anthony Pettis and Paul Felder and King Green, and the fights against Cowboy Cerrone and Danny Castillo and Jamie Varner. He fought legends in this sport and all those guys been retired except Gaethje for a long time, and King Green, who just went in and beat the crap out of some boxing streamers. That was pretty funny. But, he beat Paul Felder. You start thinking about the way that he's won fights, just unbelievable with Barboza. Evan Dunham is one of the ones that I remember, a fight night, Cowboy versus Miller, kick to the body and punches with the TKO, and a flying knee against Beneil Dariush was huge. Beat Dan Hooker by KO with a punch to the body. Just vicious body shots and kicks from Barboza. And one of my favorite memories in this sport, and I'm trying to remember which fight card it was. Oh, there's Matt Hughes again. One of my favorite memories at any UFC fight card. I want to go back to, let's say, was it 2000? What fight was it? It was there it is, against Rafael Oliveira at UFC 162, July 6, 2013, at International Fight Week, on the same fight card where Weidman beat Silva for the first time with that left hook, as they show Marky Mark. He hates it when you call him Marky Mark. I'm not Marky Mark. I'm walking out every interview. You call me Marky Mark. Dude, you're Marky Mark. You still eat coconut yogurt. You're still Marky Mark. All right? So Rafael Oliveira, the TKO by leg kicks at UFC 162. I was sitting cage side for this fight. And Scott, you might remember this, man. This dude was just pounding Oliveira with leg kicks, Barboza. You could hear those things in the upper decks of the arena. And this was the old MGM Grand Garden Arena. It's still there, but you know what I'm saying, before they did everything at T-Mobile in Vegas. And Barboza's kicks were so loud. You could hear them reverberating and echoing in the building. It was so freaking loud. And I just remember this dude's legs were purple. He couldn't walk. He was limping by the second. I mean, it just was absolutely horrendous. Second round, 144, the TKO by leg kicks, and then the stoppage of Hooker with the body shot. Just a vicious fighter. Edson Barboza, a legend in the sport, an all-time G, and we send our respect and our love to Barboza, wishing him well in the future. But, the octagon's not forever. You know what I'm saying? And 40 years old, you just don't want to take any more punishment. You've taken enough. You got the rest of your life. For God's sake, don't go to bare knuckle. Whatever you do, don't leave in it, or Diego Sanchez, who they put in there with Austin Trout and should have been brought up on murder charges for that. And you just don't want to see guys doing this anymore. All right. And there we go. We got Islam and Ian Machado Garry. There's for the round clock. That's covering the Jumbotron, as Islam goes for 17 in a row, man. Absolute unbelievable. 17 in a row, Islam Makhachev. And we got another big fight coming up next, as the first one is in the books. And you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of time to fill. That's one thing I like about the Paramount Plus deal. We got a lot of time to fill. Mansour Abdul Malik and Dustin Stoltzfus coming up next. By the way, Abdul Malik, 9-1-1, unranked, and Stoltzfus, 16-8, unranked as well. But, Abdul Malik entered his previous fight undefeated, and you know what happened there. Yusri Bagarui handed him his first professional defeat via third-round TKO. Sorry, guys. Before that, he was 9-0-1, violent finisher, explosive prospect. We got that fight coming up next. But let's talk more about the main event, man. Let's talk more about Islam Makhachev, and let's talk about Lindsey Dern and Gillian Robertson, because these are big, big fights, right? Mackenzie Dern finally wearing that gold around her waist. It took her a long time to get there, right? A lot of fights, the ups, the downs, and she finally gets it done. And, Islam aiming for history, Mackenzie Dern trying to keep history moving in her direction. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot there too. There's a lot there with that fight. So want to ask you, we did the roll call. What do you think is going to happen in the main event? Are you team Islam? Are you team Ian Machado Garry? What do you think of all the stuff that's been going on with Ian Machado Garry? Do you think it matters? I mean, so many people are so offended that he's in touch with his feminine side, saying that he's this and he's that for his wife. And I mean, all these things that are nobody's business, right? Obviously. But when you think about it, coming into this fight, it's his business. And you wonder what that's doing to him mentally. Now, as a survivor of a narcissistic psychopath in one of my relationships, I can tell you what that does when you get involved with someone like that. It'll mess you up for a long time. And while you're in the midst of it, you don't know which end is up. So if this dude is actually going through some of the things that a lot of people think he's going through, then, the biggest fight of his life might get messed up here. I had some of the best days of my life ruined by a person. Literally, every time I'd have the biggest days I'd have, that person would go out of their way to do anything they could to ruin those days or take away from what I did on those days. And for Ian Machado Garry, he's been waiting for this day for a long time. This is his one chance, maybe in his life, for a fight like this at a guy who's won 16 in a row, the quote-unquote unbeatable Islam Makhachev, right, at 155, at 170. They're showing Islam walking in the building right now, the UFC welterweight and champ at 28-1. 28-1, man. And Gary's called himself a future champ from the time he arrived in the UFC, 10-1 in the UFC. And by the way, the UFC is milking this for everything they can get. As Garry walks in, his wife's hot, by the way. For those of you who are hating on him, don't feel too bad for him because she's hot. So whatever she's putting him through, on some level, it's worth it. And their kid's adorable. But my point is, they're trying to make this Conor and Khabib angle. And Ian Machado Garry knows Conor. He's not a Conor fighter like Islam is a Khabib fighter and, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. And I think it's telling that Islam was one of the guys that Abdulmanap kicked out of the gym and made him get his haircut. And like 18 guys came in to train with him and he kicked them all out to go get haircuts and only 3 came back. And one of them was Islam. You know what I'm saying? But man, Eric Mansour is coming out of Extreme Couture in Vegas. Shout out to my guy, Eric Nixick, one of the best coaches in the game, getting a little mic time with Megan O'Leary. And by the way, all you dopes out there, leave Megan alone. Everybody posting all those pictures of her saying she's on coke or whatever it is. I know her. I know Joseph Benavidez. That girl's one of the most professional people I've ever seen pick up a microphone in my career. Knock off the shit. MMA people can be so, it's really ridiculous. Anyway, that's a public service announcement. Shout out to Megan O'Leary, one of the true talents in this business. But, look, when Ian Machado Garry beat Bilal Muhammad, he called out Makhachev directly and challenged him to come to his division and try to take him down. And, here it is. Here it is tonight. You know what they say? Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it all. But Garry, already talking about his first title defense, obviously on the Conor McGregor manifestation train. And Conor, he picked Ian Machado Garry, obviously. Talked about the SBG preparation in the movement, staying safe at distance, creating problems. And he said Garry by a late high kick. This is, interesting. Conor not just picking his countryman, he's calling his shot. And there's some historical baggage between Conor and Khabib's team. Obviously, we know it. And there was talk of Conor fighting Islam for a while there. And who knows, man? Who knows? But even Sean O'Malley talked about how he thinks Garry could win this fight. Frustrate him. Don't stay trapped. Win 3 rounds. Chris Weidman talking about Garry possibly frustrating Islam in this fight tonight. Prove how tough you are. Don't fight Islam's fight. And guys like Jorge Masvidal thinks Makhachev will eventually break Ian Machado Garry. But one thing's for sure, the fans in Philly don't like Ian Machado Garry. They don't like his ass at all. All week long, he's been getting killed in Philly. And he's not the first. He won't be the last. You know what I mean? But the boos have been significant. He's been a lightning rod, a polarizing guy. He creates a reaction. Some people love the confidence. Others want to see him humbled in a major way. And Islam a big favorite at minus 350 to 360. Garry around plus 275, plus 285, I don't know, man. He's got size. He's got size. That's the thing, man. When you're that big and you're long, you can hit from that secondary range and get out of there before he can shoot for the takedown. Islam's so quick. You know he's going to be relentless, but Islam can strike also. I don't know. You guys know how I feel about this with Oliveira, how Gaethje and Poirier and Chandler and all those guys were roughing him up, knock him down, didn't want to go down to the ground with him against Oliveira and choke him out or try to, or ground and pound him because they were worried about his world-class jiu-jitsu, maybe the best in the UFC, Dubronx, Charles Oliveira, right? Well, Islam had no such fear, and that's why he won that belt and beat Oliveira, and nobody's really had much trouble with Charles. I mean, look, he's won some fights, but and the Max fight was a mismatch, but you know, he's never been the same invincible champion that he was after changing weight classes after all the adversity early in his career, because Islam gave everybody the blueprint that Gaethje and Poirier and Chandler didn't take. And so we'll see if Ian Machado Garry would dare to go to the ground with him if he knocks him down. But Islam on his feet is very beatable. Islam on his feet is very beatable. Mixing it up, MMA, takedowns, everything clenched like that. Islam is very dangerous, obviously. The more he takes you down, if he gets you on the ground, that's his number one game. But if you're standing and striking with Makhachev, especially 6'3", Gary's going to have a nice reach advantage too. If it stays on the feet for any amount of time, I think Ian Machado Garry has a really good chance. And you know what I mean? It could end badly for Islam Makhachev. Plus, when you're chasing history like that, 16 wins in a row looking for 17, I mean, that is an enormous, enormous weight on your shoulder. The distance control, the size for Garry, he's saying Makhachev has to catch him. So we'll obviously have a lot more on this fight a little bit later on as we get set for fight number 2. And by the way, first title defense for Mackenzie Dern, as the next two fighters are about to make their walkouts here. Dustin Stoltzfus from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the local kid. Remember, Joe Pyfer was supposed to be on this card too. But nope, not on this card. And so, by the way, Dern's first title defense, Robertson's won 5 straight. She owns the UFC women's record for submissions. Dern is an incredible jiu-jitsu athlete, one of the most decorated ever to transition to MMA. She's had a little trouble grappling here and there, though. And Robertson's mentality is she's not going in there looking for a friendly jiu-jitsu match. This is MMA. Ground and pound, damage, control, violence. Who's better at jiu-jitsu? Probably Dern. Who's the better MMA grappler? Maybe that's a little bit different. So that's going to be fun. Then we have Jalen Turner, 15 career wins, 15 finishes. I mean, do I even need to say more? He's got Fernandez across from him, the leg kicks from Fernandez. And yeah, I mean, those kicks that Fernandez throws are accustomed to try to attack that big 6'3" body of Jalen Turner, right? And then Mansour Abdul Malik is coming off a loss, finally found out what losing feels like. And now we find out what kind of prospect he really is against Stoltzfus, who's got 6 first-round finishes, 3 wins by KO, 6 by sub. He won a UFC contract on the Contender Series in August of 2020, Season 4. I was there that whole entire month during COVID, one of 10 people in the world masked up in a tent outside the UFC Apex. Memories. I'd give anything to go back to those days because what they've done now, media-wise, it's just not the same covering it. But back then, it was interesting, I'll tell you what. But Abdul Malik, who hasn't made his walk yet, knows what it's like to lose. He's a huge betting favorite, you know, and every victory on his resume has come inside the distance. So the question is not whether you lay the huge number on him, it's how does he win and how quickly? And that's where the value is on this fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Very, very interesting as we continue live here on MMA Weekly. Fight number 2 on the main card. Boy, did they stall. That last fight ended a while ago, man. Oh, man. Mansour Abdul Malik and Dustin Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus waiting in the octagon. Again, man, both guys unranked. But look, Mansour coming off that loss, and I want to see how he looks. Mansour Abdul Malik out of Extreme Couture, the 4th smallest amount of bottom position time in UFC middleweight history, 15 seconds. He's finished all 9 wins, 7 by KO, and he also fought his way into the UFC on the Contender Series, Season 8, August of 2024. So we'll see if Abdul Malik is able to get back to his winning ways, and not just his winning ways, his dominant ways. But Abdul Malik to win by KO, TKO is minus 105. To win by submission, he's plus 650. To win by decision, he's plus 230. So that tells you what the odds makers are thinking, right? I mean, obviously 7 KO, TKO wins, 2 submissions. Every win he's had is a finish. He's 6'2" with a 79.5-inch reach. Stoltzfus 6 feet with a 75-inch reach. And of course, you've got Mansour's got the youth, the speed, the athleticism, the range, the bigger finishing threat. But the loss he just had, Belgarui, I mean, look, he fades deeper in fights, and that's the vulnerability Stoltzfus would need to exploit here. He's a Pennsylvania guy at 16-8. 3-7 in the UFC, has lost consecutive decisions, Kelvin Gastelum being one of them. Kelvin's fighting on UFC Noche in Phoenix, coming up in Glendale, actually, outside of Phoenix, coming up in September. But real submission ability for Stoltzfus, right? If he can drag this out a little bit, let Mansour punch himself out just a skosh, then maybe he's got a shot to wear him down and sub him. He's got 6 career submission wins, and, Mansour can't just be reckless in this fight. But he's minus 650 to minus 700, plus 470 to 500 for Stoltzfus. And, you're looking at the reach. It's a 4.5-inch reach advantage for Abdul Malik, which I've already told you. He's 6 years younger at 28. And, man, if you have money on Stoltzfus right now, I mean, he's like the living, breathing version of the Rocky statue, this guy. He's like the living version of the Rocky statue fighting out of Pennsylvania is Stoltzfus. And, man, oh, man, Buffer's in there with the shiny black and gray jacket, and we are about to go with fight number 2 on the main card. Stoltzfus, of course, is from Germersheim, Germany, originally, but if Mansour's never won a fight by decision, if it goes the distance, would you favor Stoltzfus? I mean, he's got that kind of fighting style. I don't know, man. I don't know. We shall see. The method of victory is the way to go here. How do you think it's going to go down? It's about to go down. And we are ready for fight number 2. Mansour Abdul Malik. Again, all 9 of his wins have come by finish. And Stoltzfus, by the way, is not just, he's a black belt in luta livre, which is an interesting form, and a red belt in Tang Soo Do, all kinds of martial arts there. Purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a kickboxer, but he could submit you, is what I'm trying to say. He's tough. He could make that happen the longer this fight goes. As we get ready for round number 1, Abdul Malik and Stoltzfus at UFC 330. Start the clock, and here they come. Smash that like, hit the subscribe. We got big numbers coming tonight here on MMA Weekly. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Will Ian Machado Garry, his manifestation of that UFC championship, will it come to be tonight against Islam Makhachev, or will Islam win for the 17th straight time and stand alone atop the record book in UFC history, passing the Spider, Anderson Silva? Man, oh man, just feeling each other out a little bit here. And, Stoltzfus is a kickboxer, so obviously he's not going to be fazed by Mansour Abdul Malik. And then there's a nice couple of exchanges there, each guy landing a shot or two. As we approach the 4-minute mark in round number 1. And we'll see if Mansour Abdul Malik is a little more patient, a little less reckless, coming off loss number 1. I mean, look, it happens to everybody, no matter how great you are. And that's one of the things that really amazes me in this sport, every sport, but this sport in particular. You get dudes who just wreck everybody their entire way through, where no one even wants to fight them. They destroy everyone in their path. And then they come across a guy they can't do that to. Then they lose. They got to get better. It takes an even more special individual and an athlete to bounce back from that kind of a loss, than it does to even get there, I believe, because you haven't really arrived in the UFC until you lose, which is something Khabib never did, right? But interesting. I mean, his fights were not the greatest opponents either when we talk about the GOAT and Mount Rushmore of the sport, which I don't put Khabib on my Mount Rushmore. I don't care if he was 30-0. If you look at the level of competition, I don't put him there. I'm not putting him above Anderson Silva or GSP or, you know what I mean? I'm just not. I'd put Islam above Khabib, honestly speaking, for the body of work and the fighters he's beaten. Much more impressive than the Eagle, although all Khabib could do is fight the people he fought. Nice little exchange, though. Whenever and switching stances continuously is Abdul Malik, but whenever he comes in and starts throwing some heat, he's gotten caught by a counter from Stoltzfus, but nobody's really hurt. one another yet. Oh, nice right from Abdul Malik, and Stoltzfus coming in looking for the single leg. Now he's got the back of Abdul Malik. They're in just about the center of the octagon. He wrapped his arms around his waist, trying to take him down from the back, but working his way through that and trying to pull those arms off now before all the sweat comes in, makes it a lot tougher, is Mansour Abdul Malik. 220 and counting here in round number 1. You know what I mean? But man, oh man. Little bit of an advantage for Stoltzfus. And of course, you know, Abdul Malik, a D1 wrestler at the University of Maryland. These two have trained together in the past, by the way, and that matters. Oh, Stoltzfus in the clinch, landing a couple of shots in a knee. Good job by Dustin Stoltzfus. No pain, at least on the face of Abdul Malik. Looking a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more calculated in there this time out than the last few. Loves those head kicks, though, and he can throw them quick from anywhere. Just buzzed the head of Stoltzfus. Didn't hit him, but, man, he went up and over that thing pretty heavily. Oh, ducking under the right, going for another single leg is Stoltzfus. Now he's got him up against the fence trying to take him down. Fighting off the takedown, and so much upper body strength for Abdul Malik. Stoltzfus hitting him with some knees. Nice showing early on from Dustin Stoltzfus, the big underdog. And as they break the clinch, he hits him with a left. Now it's Stoltzfus in the southpaw stance. They're both changing stances. You know what I mean? Wrestler, kickboxer, it doesn't matter. They're both mixed martial artists. Everybody's really good at everything these days. By the way, Keith Peterson is the referee. Oh, nice combination from Stoltzfus. I think Abdul Malik is stunned. Comes right off the fence with a head kick. Those quads are huge, too. Stoltzfus shoots in for a double, picks him up. Fireman's carry, throws him down in the middle of the octagon. Dustin Stoltzfus, with 40 seconds left, may have just won round number 1. Now he's working from top position, and he's hitting the body of Abdul Malik. And now he's postured up. Full mount and spinning over and giving up his back now is Abdul Malik. Oh, Stoltzfus going for the rear naked choke. And nope, defended by Abdul Malik. Under 20 seconds remaining. Now Stoltzfus on top of the back of Abdul Malik, pounding on the sides of the face and the temples, working for submissions. Can't see the opposite side. Oh, he hits him with another big right. 5 seconds left in the round. 4, 3. What a round for Stoltzfus. He's up run round. Dustin Stoltzfus, the huge underdog. Wow, went for the double leg, was able to pick him up and carry him across the octagon, slam him down on his back. And Eric Nixick and company have some work to do with Abdul Malik. We could be seeing a big upset in the making here at UFC 330. What a nice round for Dustin Stoltzfus, the veteran man, in front of the home crowd, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in the house in Philly. Man, oh man, that was a tough round, and I really believe that has to be definitely for Stoltzfus, round number 1. You never know. I mean, that's why you fight the fights, right? Doesn't matter. Remember Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey? We've seen some huge upsets. Gaethje and Topuria, for that matter. Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev, a lot of them lately. You know, you're not fighting someone's aura. You're fighting that person. And does anybody really even have that aura anymore? Or was, Khabib the last one, Conor before him, and Khabib took that away. Diaz really did. But a beautiful job on that slam by Stoltzfus as we get set for round number 2. The favorite is in the hole. Start the clock. Here they come. In the center of the octagon, Stoltzfus coming out in that conventional stance, and both guys are. Wow, man, what a round that round number 1 was. And Abdul Malik is going to be, very patient in this fight. And he's throwing a lot of head kicks. And, when he throws the head kicks or when he tries to throw the big right hand, he gets a little wild. He telegraphs it a little bit. And, they obviously did a good job training Stoltzfus because he's been ready and he's been able to duck underneath and shoot for takedowns, as he just did there on a head kick. Abdul Malik throwing a lot of head kicks in this fight. I think he needs to throw more leg kicks and more kicks to the body against a guy like Stoltzfus. Now he's peppering him with a combo. Oh, nice job. Now they're in the clinch throwing bombs at each other. These guys getting after it. Stoltzfus goes for another takedown, stuffed by Abdul Malik. Shout out to everybody watching right now on MMA Weekly, the world's #1 independently owned MMA website. Throwing knees now is Stoltzfus as he's working to get the back of Abdul Malik, who's kind of hunched over up against the cage. Oh, nice job by Abdul Malik to reach back around, get behind the leg of Stoltzfus, and try to take him down. But Stoltzfus is sitting up. He's got his arms wrapped around the midsection of Abdul Malik, who's looking to go chest to chest and just power him down, which he does here. So Abdul Malik now, the D1 college wrestler, let's not forget, he's in top position. Now he's posturing up, trying to throw bombs at Stoltzfus, who's in trouble. He's cut, and he's getting hit with some big shots now. Oh, wow, a hammer fist to the side of the temple. That one did some damage. We got a lot of time left in this round. We got 3:05 and counting left in round 2. Stoltzfus trying to rock forward, get into that single leg, and reverse this to take him down. He's got that leg up in the air, but able to punch his way out of it was Abdul Malik. I thought Stoltzfus might have been in big trouble there. Doesn't want to stand and trade necessarily with the younger, quicker opponent, but he's doing okay. When they're in the pocket and they're throwing bombs back and forth, Stoltzfus is doing all right. And, I think you're a D1 wrestler. You don't even, sometimes you're like, hey, man, this dude ain't taking me down. He's stuffing takedowns now. And now that he knows they're coming, he's stuffing them. But it was a great game plan by Stoltzfus, the kickboxer. And again, he's a veteran of 24 fights. So obviously he knows how to do a whole bunch of things and do them well. Man, so over under 1.5 rounds, the under was plus 110. And we are past that now as it just came in. So if you had that, congrats to you as we approach 2 minutes left in the round. And they're just standing and trading. There's a lot of volume being thrown in this fight between these two guys. Wow. And both of them, to their credit, their cardio's good, under 2 minutes left in round number 2. But, once Abdul Malik reestablished his base, it's hard to take down. Stoltzfus continues to be able to get that leg, though, that lead leg, whenever Abdul Malik comes forward. And now Stoltzfus lands a big right hand. So Abdul Malik has to really be careful of the takedowns here. That leg is a little too accessible, even though he's stuffed him. And a big right from Stoltzfus knocks him down. Abdul Malik's in trouble. He's crouched down in front of the fence, and Stoltzfus got his neck, trying to choke him out. He's got the guillotine. I don't think he's got it in. I don't know. Ooh, that's nope. Good job by Abdul Malik, man. We got 1:15 left in round number 2, but blood pouring out of the nose of Abdul Malik, who got rocked and dropped by Stoltzfus. So this will be the second round for Stoltzfus if it continues this way. And it looked for a moment there with the D1 wrestler on top of him, posturing up, throwing heat, that he might have been in big trouble. But right now, it is all Dustin Stoltzfus. A big elbow to the temple. He might be out. No, he's not. Oh, Peterson's right there. Now he's going for another. He's got the choke. He's got the rear naked sunk in. Does he get the triangle? He's got it. He's got it locked in tight, and there's 40 seconds left in the round. Oh, Abdul Malik's in big trouble. That oxygen flow and the blood getting choked off, and he taps. Docs say it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Big upset win for Dustin Stoltzfus at UFC 330. How about that? You're talking about a huge underdog. He was plus 500. Oh, if you're cashing that ticket, it's going to be a good night for you. Stoltzfus in front of the home fans in Pennsylvania, getting it done in a big way on fight number 2 of this main card. And still out is Abdul Malik. He got rocked. He got dropped. He got hit with elbows. He got hit with punches. And then he got choked the F out. That's not just the air. Now, you not only can you not breathe, and you got your vocal cords are being, you also have all the blood being removed forcibly from going between your head and the rest of your body. And that, my friends, shuts down your brain. But there was a huge elbow from the top by Stoltzfus, followed by a couple of hammer fists, both directly to the temple. He's already bleeding out of his nose. You hit him in the temple a couple times. He's seeing quadruple. He's just about out of it. And then you roll around and choke him and put the triangle on him, man. This sport can be brutal sometimes. Absolutely amazing from Stoltzfus. What a performance. What a performance by Dustin. He's getting a bonus. I'm going to call it right now. He better get a bonus. He better get a bonus. What a performance. Stoltzfus is bleeding. Left eye is shut. He doesn't care, man. He's a Pennsylvania fighter. He's the living, breathing embodiment of the Rocky statue in there tonight. Unbelievable to do that in that arena right there where he is. And wow, Stoltzfus. I mean, this dude, I mean, he's coming off 2 losses in a row and 3 out of 4. His only win in there was against Marc-Andre Barriault. I mean, he lost to Bruno Ferreira. He lost to Ruzabov. He lost to Gastelum. He lost to Abuzipian Magomedov. He lost to Mearshart. He lost to Dawkins. I mean, he has a win over Pfeiffer on the Contender Series, his fellow Pennsylvanian, Joe Pfeiffer, who was supposed to be on this card, by the way. But, man, he goes to 17-8 with a big, big win here tonight. And he's gotten 2 performance of the nights, but he might get something, you know, he might get something more than that tonight. I mean, it's not going to be a huge bonus, but it's going to be a bonus nonetheless. And I think he's going to win one. I mean, wow, he really looked good tonight. Grew up in the Pennsylvania Dutch community outside of Ronks, Pennsylvania, to former Amish parents. Can you believe that? Stoltzfus? He started folk-style wrestling as a kid, Tang Soo Do, Kung Fu, man, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Moved to Germany, trained over there. I mean, it's been a journey for this dude. A journey for Dustin Stoltzfus at 34 years of age. He'll be 35 in November. Unreal. Oh, how about Joshua Van and Alejandro Pantoja going to come up? That's going to be in LA. 331 in September. Can't wait for that. All right, here's Bruce Buffer. Keith Peterson calls a stop to this contest. 4 minutes, 25 seconds, round number 2. Winner by submission due to a rear naked choke. Dustin Stoltzfus plus 500. Cash those checks, baby. Let's go. And Stoltzfus with Joe Rogan in there. And, you know, I've done a lot of these fighter interviews over the years in the cages along the way. And there's nothing quite like walking in there when a guy wins a big upset, or a girl for that matter, like that. One of the biggest wins, if not the biggest win of his career. Huge underdog against Abdul Malik, and for Abdul Malik, for the second time in a row after 9 wins in a row and all by finish, he goes back to the drawing board. You know, man, it's crazy. He's calling Mansour a beast, hopes to be in the gym with him soon. They've trained together in the past, you know, and Joe's asking him about that now. Did it help him for this fight? He said, not so much. You know, he said he thought he had a better read on his movement than he really did. He got hit a lot. I mean, his nose is busted up, his eyes busted up. He said in training, he's not trying to knock me out like he was tonight. But I thought when he picked him up and slammed him and just crushed the wind right out of him, landing on his back on that rib cage, and, you know, then a big right hand there in round number 2, and then another big right hand backs him up against the cage. And then after he knocked him down, the big elbow to the side of the temple and a couple of those hammer fists right to that same temple, rolls him over, throws him in the rear naked, gets the triangle, not even locked all the way with his knee. There he goes. Now he finally got it, but that was it. By the time he actually completed the body triangle and locked that leg, he was already tapping. And, you know, I mean, he couldn't breathe. His blood's pouring out of his nose. He had just gotten drilled by an elbow and like 3 hammer punches in the temple. What a performance by Stoltzfus. That was about as violent a finish as you're going to see in the UFC. Pounding him in the face, the blood coming everywhere, the elbows, the hammer punches, the big right hands to the chin and to the cheek before that. I mean, he hit him everywhere. He took him down. He knocked the wind out of him with the slam, and then he chokes him out. And this is a guy who looked unbeatable 2 fights ago. And now, all of a sudden, in the cruel world of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, 2 losses in a row for Abdul Malik, man. Wow. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Oh, Hasbullah's there. Did you know Hasbullah's 30 years old? Oh, look at this. Yair Rodriguez, El Matador. There's my guy. I like that guy, man. Eddie Alvarez, you know he's going to be there in Philly. Frankie Edgar from Jersey. Eddie's from Philly. Frankie Edgar from Jersey is in the house. Oh, you got Sean Brady and Bone Fiend. The main event at Fight Night coming up. And Brady's a Pennsylvania guy, too. Trains with Joe Pfeiffer. See what happens when all the useless information in your head just keeps coming out unfiltered during a show? This is what it's all about. And by the way, smash that like. Hit the subscribe as we wait for Jalen Turner and Fernandez coming up next. That's going to be another good one as well. Really excited about that. Mackenzie, Dern, and Gillian Robertson coming your way for the women's strawweight title. And then, of course, you have got the main event, Islam Makhachev, the welterweight champ, going for 17 wins in a row against Ian Machado. Garry looking like a pterodactyl in there at 6'3". Really excited. Islam at 28-1. He didn't think it'd be his toughest test, but you never know in the octagon. You never know. And how crazy would it be if Conor McGregor could never beat Team Khabib, but Team Nurmagomedov with Islam, but Ian Machado, Garry does? That'd be interesting to see, right? I think it'd be very interesting to see. I mean, me personally, I don't know how you feel about it, but it is going to be a lot of fun to watch that fight. And we got some big fights coming up in the near future too. Very excited about a lot of these events. How about Parnasse making his UFC debut in France against Dan Hooker? Remember when Chandler made his debut against Hooker? They love to throw Hooker in there against killers. And then Nurmagomedov against Song coming up. Rodriguez and Silva in Glendale. And that's Yair, by the way. And then Brandon Moreno's on the card. Kelvin Gastelum, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Van Pantoja 2 at Crypto.com in LA on September 19th. Want to make my way out there for that as well, because Arman Sarukian and Mauricio Hufi's on that one. Patricio Pitbull on that card. Moicano against Brian Ortega. Gable Stevenson making his second appearance in the octagon. Chito Vera on that card. Robelis Despain on that card against Tai Tuivasa, and they're throwing him to the wolves. Man, Giga Chikadze, that's a big card in LA. That's a good one. Really looking forward to that one. That is in September. I'll be gone till September. It's really November. I'll be gone till November. But I threw my own little spin on it. You blame me? I mean, come on. But it's going to be fun. Joshua Van and Pantoja. And by the way, I mean, just that division right now, when you think about that, I mean, that is just insane, right? I mean, when you think about that division and you think about those fighters in that division and what we've seen, like Tatsuro Taira, I mean, he could have had that fight. He had that fight. And both guys had that fight. It was back and forth and back. So he's a big player and a big factor in that division as well. But Pantoja, man, one of the best championship runs we've seen in a long time. And the way Joshua Van won that title, you know, the way he won it was unfortunate, but the way he defended it wasn't. But Pantoja coming back saying, hey, man, that shit's mine. Yeah, it's mine. I'm coming back to take what is mine. And for those of you who don't remember how it all went down, I mean, obviously, those of you who do, you know what I'm talking about. But Joshua Van looks like the future. He really does when you think about it, man. He's 24 years old. 24 years old, man. And by the way, you know, at 26 seconds of round number 1, how he won the belt was the arm injury to Pantoja. So I know I don't have to tell most of you guys and girls that. Numbers surging in the room. Hit that subscribe, the like. If you want to super chat us, we're all about that as well. If you appreciate the content, we're coming your way. We do it every numbered fight night. We do it for the big, you know, the MVPs, the Jake Pauls, the big boxing matches. Got some big fights. Fury and Joshua coming up later this year. Garcia and Nigel Benn will be here for some of those as well. But that LA card looking stacked right after Noche. I'm in Arizona. I'll be at the Noche card, and then I'll be out in LA for that next one. So some big fights coming up. You got New York in November. There you go. I'll be gone till November. But you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, Van and Pantoja, you actually get to see him fight this time. Think about it, right? Actually get to see him fight. I hate it when titles change hands on injuries. It happens, you know, it's part of the game. It's definitely part of the game. But speaking of the game, we got a big one coming up here between Turner and Kawe Fernandes. This fight is interesting. Turner's 15-9, big dude at 6'3". He's got some submission game. He's really good striker. You know, Fernandes, is 11-2. Both these guys unranked, but man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Kawe Fernandes, like phalanges, but Fernandes. And Turner's called the tarantula for a reason, right? 6'3" with a 77-inch reach, man. And you got Fernandes at 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. So that's going to be a big storyline coming out. And you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And Fernandes has been training in Rio with Andre Perdoneres since he was 18 years old. But Fernandes is a lumberjack. And what does a lumberjack specialize in? Chopping down trees. And what is Turner? In this case, metaphorically speaking, he's the tree. 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. So cutting down trees, chopping wood with the kicks. And he's one of the best kickers. And we already saw Barboza on this card, his retirement, losing in that opening fight to Rybovics. But and then a great upset win by Stoltzfus over Abdul Malik Mansour. So the calf and leg kicks, I mean, just crazy. And that's going to be how Fernandes wins this fight, or at least his path to victory, right? Whereas Turner, 15 wins, 15 finishes, 11 knockouts, 4 submissions, 0 decision wins. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, he lost by stoppage a couple times in a row and came back and knocked Edson Barboza out in round 1 at UFC 323. That was after he lost to Moicano and Bahamondes, beat King Green when he was still Bobby Green in 2023. Before that, he lost back-to-back to Gamrot and Hooker, but he was coming off a 5-fight win streak following a loss to Matt Frivola. But, I mean, look, Jamie Malarkey and Brad Riddle is not exactly, Gamrot and Hooker. And, there's levels to this sport, and most guys kind of settle into their level where they'll go up a little bit and get beat, go down a little bit and win every fight. At their level, they're about 50-50. There's a lot of guys like that in this sport, and they fight for a long time. But Barboza, in December of last year at 39 years old, how impressive of a win was that for Turner? And what can he do coming back out now in this fight? And I'm excited to see, I'll tell you that. Very, very excited to see. But we're excited to bring you this live coverage on MMA Weekly, by the way, the world's #1 independently owned MMA website and content platform. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram as well, and X. We've got a total of about 1.7 million followers/subscribers worldwide. The website doing huge traffic. We do big numbers on these UFC fight nights tonight. No exception to that rule. So while we have you here and while we get the endless commercials, roll call. Where are you at? Where are you watching from? Where are you in the world? Let us know tonight. And who are you here to see win or lose? What are you here for? You think Islam's going to beat Garry and break the record of Anderson Silva? Are you here for Ian Machado Garry trying to make some history? The Irish in the building. Let's get it cracking in here. I know there's a ton of Islam fans on MMA Weekly. There always have been, right? And so there you have it. And how many are here for Mackenzie Dern? How many love Mackenzie Dern and her nonstop barrage of social media posts showcasing her greatest assets? You know what I'm saying? As Megan O'Leary gets us set for the next fight, Mackenzie's got that social media game on blast. And Robertson, of course, has been really great lately. One of the most violent finishers, grapplers into submissions. But, man, we got Toronto in the house, Islam all the way. We got Arkansas. What up, Razorback? We got England. We got Alaska. We got the Philippines. We got Islam. Yeah, everybody thinks Islam's going to win. Here comes Fernandes, by the way. The lumberjack. Ready to try to chop down Jalen Turner because, hey, that height advantage only lasts for so long when you chop down those legs, right? Destin, Florida. There you go. Ireland, there's an Ian Machado Garry fan. Germany, Pakistan. We got people all over the world watching us tonight. Welcome to MMA Weekly's live coverage of UFC 330. Thank you, Stephen Young. Appreciate you. South Africa, Dricus du Plessis looked good against Kamaru Usman last time out. Look at this. Kawe Fernandes, a 3-fight win streak, one of 19 finishes by leg kick in UFC history. And Barboza had another one, by the way, so we've seen both of those. And he's got a 4-0 UFC knockdown ratio. That's Kawe Fernandes, by the way. I'm a play-by-play guy. Got to get those names right, man. It's a pet peeve. Japan in the house. Look at that. We got Antarctica. Is it true what they say about Antarctica? Are all the secrets of the world buried down there? Go find them for us and let us know. Egypt in the house. And here comes Jalen Turner making the walk. I mean, is he, how much was that Barboza fight? How much can we go off of that? I mean, he got choked out, triangle choke against Ignacio Bahamondes at UFC 313 in Vegas in March of last year. April of 2024, as he was almost a year in between fights, he lost by elbows and punches, TKO to Renato Moicano, who's a brutal fighter. And then Barboza, he beat TKO punches 224 of round number 1 in Vegas at UFC 323 in December of last year. So has not fought in about 8 months or so. 6th highest knockdown rate among active UFC fighters. He's got a 9-2 UFC knockdown ratio. Finished all 15 wins, 11 knockouts and 4 submissions, but you know that. And you also know that this fight right now is taking place in the lightweight division. Turner to win by KO/TKO is plus 200. To win by submission, plus 350. So you got some things going on there with the odds in this fight. Fernandes 11-2, 6 knockouts, 2 submission. Lost his UFC debut by split decision to Mark Diakiese. But man, you know, Fernandes saying that a lot of top 10 lightweights turned down opportunities to fight him before Turner accepted. Said he wouldn't name him, wasn't disrespectful. But man, the price has danced on this fight. Turner's about minus 130, you know, and Fernandes about plus 110, and then it got close to pick 'em. And it's been bouncing around a little bit, but it stayed pretty close to, you know, about even with these two guys, you know. Turner over 27.5 significant strikes is something that jumped out to me when I was looking at this fight. And that's, you know, that's at minus 115. So I'd be throwing that down all day long because that might happen in round 1. You know what I'm saying with this dude? But Fernandes, you know, destroy the lead leg, chopping wood. You're the lumberjack, man. You're the Paul Bunyan, the UFC. Now that Barbosa's gone, destroy the lead leg, man. Get inside. Don't let that guy hit you with those pterodactyl arms and legs. You know, but Turner can submit you too. And every time that Fernandes crosses that perimeter of 77 inches, and by the way, this ended at a pick'em at minus 110. I told you it was close. You know, and a nice reach advantage for Jalen Turner as well. Here's Buffer with the official introductions. 3rd fight on the main card. After this, we go to the 2 title fights. Mackenzie, Dern, Gillian, Robertson, women's strawweight. And, of course, Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry, men's welterweight. Philadelphia, the place is packed. Cheesesteaks for everyone. Pats or Geno's? Nope. Tony Luke's all day. I'll never forget when I was doing my national radio show. This is years ago now. We were on 114 stations, Sirius XM, and, you know, making big money, traveling the world, going to fights in Atlantic City. We took a 2-day trip to Philly. We went to Mitchell and Ness. I got a couple throwback jerseys in there. I got a Lou Gehrig, got a couple other things. But I ate about 7 cheesesteaks in 2 days. I tasted them all. Tony Luke's and Angelo's are the best, not Pat's and Geno's. Those are drunk food at 2 a.m. You go there for that, or for the tourists who go there at 2 a.m. And maybe both, right? Turner out of Fontana, California, by the way, 6'3", 156 pounds he weighed in at. The pterodactyl, 7-3 as a UFC favorite, but he's not a favorite right now. It's pick him. But again, the line has danced a little bit, so some of you might have gotten it a little different for either guy, as I told you. But interestingly enough, you know, Turner taking the fight that a lot of guys apparently didn't want. I mean, no one wants to come in and have your legs kicked, you know, 1,000 times. Who is this ring girl? Absolutely fantastic. All right, we're ready to roll. Start the clock. Round number 1. Here they come. Turner in black trunks and yellow tights for the lumberjack. Fernandes cut down the legs, already throwing leg kicks. And look, you're going to stay at distance if you're the tarantula. The tarantula against the lumberjack. How about that? You know, I mean, I don't even have to say anything else about what each guy's going to do in this fight when you just hear those nicknames, right? Chop the legs of the black furry spider. And look at that. Oh, a big left from Jalen Turner lands already. Fernandes in big trouble down on his back. It's over. It is over. Oh, my goodness gracious. He got pounded out right away. Using the range was Jalen Turner. He hit him with a big left from that 77-inch reach. And oh, the tarantula with the long limbs making it happen. He stings the lumberjack. And you know, tarantulas aren't poisonous, but he was poisonous there. Jalen Turner with violence. I don't even know what the official time was. That was under 15 seconds, I'll tell you that. He's on his knees praying. Really good dude, Turner. Wow, that's crazy. That's 12 wins by KO TKO. He didn't even break a sweat in Philly. Those are the best kind of wins. You get a win, you get your fight money, you get your win money, maybe you get a bonus. Oh, yeah, Fernandes tried a spinning back fist, got turned around. Oh, Turner grabbed the arm, and while he was holding the arm with one hand, oh, yeah, he was holding the left arm back with one hand, and he just pounded him with that left hook. And then he just mounted him and postured up and just pounded him out, man. That was a beautiful job by Turner. What a dumb move by Fernandes to try that spinning back fist right away. Man, I bet he wishes he could have that back if he knows where he is right now. Just like that, 3 fights in the books. What an incredible performance by Turner. What a performance by Jalen Turner. The tarantula. Win number 16 and 12 by KO TKO. Man, fighting out of Fontana, California. He's been a welterweight, a lightweight. The 31-year-old with that. I mean, that might be his best win. I mean, he looked great against Barboza, but Barboza was old by that time, and we just saw Barboza on his way out. Didn't look very good at all. You know what I mean, against Ribovics. But, I mean, when he beat Bobby Green at the time, who's now King Green, knocked him out with punches, got the performance of the night in Austin back in December of 2023. It was a Dariush Sarukian card in December of that year, and that was a really impressive performance. And he also got a submission on Brad Riddle, got in the performance of the night. And this might be, I mean, look, we're talking about 2 in a row where the bonuses are up in the air. I mean, I think the submission by Stoltzfus, the way he just worked himself into it, that's bonus worthy. This was definitely bonus worthy. They're saying 39 seconds. I didn't see any way it went that long. But then again, it always seems shorter, right? That's what she said. Just kidding. Ribovics and Barboza. I mean, I can't resist. I walked myself right off that plank. Garcia and Ben, Saturday, September 12th. Same night as UFC Noche for Zuffa Boxing. Dana competing against himself these days. Well, I mean, he says that MVP FL is not competition, right? And nobody in boxing is competition. So might as well compete against yourself, right, Dana? Anyway, make this one official. The one, the only, Bruce Buffer. Fernandes does not look happy, obviously. Big height difference in this fight. He needed to chop those legs down, but 39 seconds of round number 1. Winner by knocking out the tarantula, Jalen Turner. 39 seconds of round number 1. Nice win for Turner, man. That was absolutely beautiful. Nobody wanted to fight this guy because of the leg kicks. He wasn't playing around and waiting. But I don't know why so early in the fight, man, this dude tried a spinning back fist. You're a kicker, bro. I just don't get it. You know, he's saying he gives his thanks to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. But, man, it's unbelievable to see a guy who's just he's a leg kicker, he's a body kicker, but you know, active UFC lightweights now. Turner has 6 KO TKOs, and Barboza's not active anymore. They need to take him off that list. Gaethje was 7, Dober with 11, and Turner's got 6, tied with Jim Miller. So he's asking him who he wants to fight next, and he says, "I'd like to see a number next to my name again." So let's see, Meta. Use that AI. See if we got that ranking for him now. Big win for Jalen Turner. Puts his lights out, man. That was beautiful. I want to see the highlights again. They don't show a lot of replays on this Paramount Plus coverage. ESPN had him beat there for sure. But what do I know? I've only been doing this for 30-plus years. Big win. But we got the 2 title fights coming up next. I mean, we're at the part of the card where we wanted to be, right? Mackenzie, Dern, and Gillian Robertson coming up next. Then we got Islam. And then we got Islam Makhachev, and we got Ian Machado Garry. absolute pandemonium in the octagon tonight. I mean, Rebovics with the TKO, the submission from Stoltzfus, the bloodbath and the domination and the bludgeoning of Abdul Malik. Oh, you got Raul Rosas Jr. He's going to fight Barcelos coming up. Only Barcelos. Interesting. Made his debut at 18. Oh, yeah. Diego Lopez, 28-8. Yep, they love Diego Lopez. There's Joe Pyfer. Was supposed to be on this card. His fight got pulled. Charles Johnson, the LFA flyweight champion, was supposed to be on here in a flyweight bout against Jose Ochoa. Ochoa pulled out. Was replaced by Eduardo Henrique in the catchweight bout. And Johnson won that fight. Jeff Neal and Chidi Nogwani was supposed to fight, and Neal pulled out. Alvarez replaced him. He got beat. Yeah, Chao Barayo and Joe Pyfer were going to fight. Seeing Mackenzie Dern, 16-5. Second most performance awards in UFC strawweight history was 7 for her. She gets set to face Gillian Robertson, man. Gillian's been around a long time. And she, of course, has been really good lately, winning 5 fights in a row since losing to Tabitha Ricci back in 2023, June of 2023, UFC on ABC, Emmett and Taporia. Remember that fight for Ilya? Man, but she beat Poliana Viana, Michelle Waterson Gomez, Luana Pinheiro, Marina Rodriguez, who's not easy, beat her by TKO, and Amanda Lemos. I mean, that's a pretty good streak right there for her. You know, before that, she won 2 in a row before the Ricci fight. She's lost to JJ Aldrich and Miranda Maverick, Tyler Santos, wins over Courtney Casey, lost to Macy Barber, lost to Myra Bueno Silva, win over Molly the Meatball McCann. Remember Molly the Meatball? She was going to be the next big thing. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. Man, interesting opportunity, though, for Gillian Robertson and for Mackenzie Dern. I mean, she's born in Phoenix, Arizona. Tremendously decorated jiu-jitsu. I mean, I'm looking at her Wikipedia page and one of the many things I'm always looking at, and you see all the gold medals she won in jiu-jitsu, right? And man, oh man, she was one of the greatest of all time. She was married to a surfer, and then they went through a divorce. A fighter and a surfer. She's left the MMA lab in Arizona. She left Black House MMA. I mean, some things have been said, some incidents back and forth, and you know, her old coach got into a fight with her ex-husband, a disagreement about money. She said her ex-husband put hands on her. I mean, there's been a lot of things with Mackenzie in her personal life. She became a mother and became a better fighter. She's been in the UFC for a long time now. Seems like yesterday she was making her debut, coming out of Invicta and LFA against Ashley Yoder, UFC 222 in March of 2018. Won her first 2, then lost to Amanda Hebus. Won her next 4. Lost to Marina Rodriguez. Beat Tessia Torres. Lost to Jan Janan. Beat Angela Hill, lost to Andrade and Lemos, and now 3 in a row over Lupi Godinez, Amanda Hebus, and Verna Jandaroba to win the vacant UFC Women's Strawweight Championship. And that was in October of last year. Has not fought since then. She's coming back in now. And obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But, you know, Mackenzie Dern is exactly where she wants to be in life and in her fight career. And this isn't just BJJ versus BJJ. Robertson is grappling, takedown, control, damage, transmission, submission attempt, repeat. You know, I mean, control metrics. She owns those extraordinarily so. You know, 2.76 takedowns per 15 minutes. She's got decisions. She's got TKOs. Dern knows exactly what she's facing in Robertson. She knows the ground game. She thinks there's holes there. You know, she's been submitted in grappling competitions, and she thinks her jiu-jitsu is at another level. It'd be interesting to see the physical strength in this fight, though. Dern's at minus 198 to minus 205. And, you know, we'll see. We shall see. Very interesting, though, this fight. And I can't wait to see it. I've been waiting for this fight for a while. Can Robertson keep that hot streak going, or will Mackenzie Dern put a stop to it? They're promoting everything in the world as they get set, And by the way, Islam looking for 17 in a row tonight after this one. So Dern and Robertson could be a main event on its own, but then you got, obviously, Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry coming up after that. It's Jim Greasehaber, Call Me Grease, MMA Weekly, the world's #1 independently owned MMA website. What do you guys have in this next fight? Who do you have winning? Who will get her arm raised? Will it be the champion or will it be the challenger? Mackenzie Dern or Gillian Robertson? There's a lot of people saying Islam Makhachev in here. They are all coming in now. Welcome to MMA Weekly. The strawweight rankings. Robertson at number 4. Tatiana Suarez, Virna Jandiroba, and Zhang Weili ahead of her for Mackenzie Dern. Now, a lot of people think this is one of the easier title defenses for Mackenzie, but we'll see. And nothing's easy in the UFC. You guys know that. You know this. All right. And so if the main event is elite wrestling against elite range management, we just saw Jalen Turner and what he did to the Lumberjacks. So, Ian Machado Garry going to try to do the same thing and catch Islam. But I still can't believe Fernandes came in and as he got rushed in an awkward position, he tried a spinning back fist and a brilliant move by Turner to grab that one arm with his right arm, hold him there, and then pop with that left hook, and then bang, he's on the ground, and doot. Goodbye to you. But each of these women, what's unique about this fight with Mackenzie Dern and Gillian Robertson is Mackenzie Dern can throw hands. And Robertson's not bad on her feet either, but Mackenzie Dern's pretty good on her feet. And the other thing is, how many times do you see a fight in the UFC, and especially a title fight, where each competitor is seemingly going to be more than willing to go into the other competitor's wheelhouse to get the win, to go into the bear cave and take the dinner before the bear hibernates, right? And that is the jiu-jitsu of Mackenzie Dern. Robertson does not seem to be afraid of that at all. Mackenzie Dern does not seem to be afraid of the grappling. So these two women seemingly may just go right into each other's strengths and say, hey, who's better? And I got nothing but respect for that. This is like a female BMF right here, I think so. First title defense for Dern. Robertson's won 5 straight. She owns the UFC record for submissions, you know what I mean, on the women's side. But she's going against one of the purest and most decorated jiu-jitsu athletes ever to come into the octagon, or MMA itself for that matter, or combat sports outside of jits. And Dern sees holes and weaknesses, and Robertson not in there looking for a friendly match. It's grappling, ground and pound, damage, control, violence. She's really good at the violence game. Surprise, surprise, right? Who is the better MMA grappler? Not who's the better jiu-jitsu practitioner. Who is the better MMA grappler? Who is the better mixed martial artist, not just grappler? We're about to find out, at least on this night, in this city, on this card. We're about to find out. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we've already had a nice night so far. I mean, the undercard, the prelims were great. We had a vicious knockout from Dante Johnson. Charles Johnson with a twister submission. We had 2 huge TKOs on the early prelims. Neil Magny was one of them, got the win. And then a ninja choke in the opening bout from Jeremiah Wells. I mean, we've only had 2 submissions on the entire fight card so far, and we've had 10 fights. Everything else has been a finish. I mean, they must know they're in Philly or something, right? Man, the fans have to be happy with that. They're not happy with anything in Philly. I mean, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and the next training camp, they were calling for the coach to be fired. This is a true story. They don't like their quarterback. They don't like their coach. They hated Mike Schmidt. The only Philly sports legend who seemed to be above all that was Dr. J. And that's a long time ago, Julius Erving. Man, Mackenzie Dern and Gillian Robertson. How about this main card, though? Esteban Ribovics with the TKO over Edson Barboza. Barboza lays the gloves down at 40 years old after all those fights. That was a TKO, round 2, 132. Dustin Stoltzfus, a huge upset as high as a plus 500 underdog. He beats Mansour Abdul Malik, hands him his second straight loss after 9 finishes in a row, not just 9 wins in a row. He submitted him by rear naked choke, but he blasted him 4 or 5 times in the face, bloodied his nose, hit him with an elbow in the side of the temple, hammer punches to follow that elbow, and then just literally took his back, put the choke in, rolled him over, locked the triangle. Man, oh man, that was a thing of beauty. Got to be a bonus in there somewhere. And then Jalen Turner, first round, 39 seconds, knockout over Kawe Fernandes, the lumberjack, trying to chop down the tree and hit the legs with the kicks and never got a chance to do it. I don't think he landed one. And if he did, it was a glancing blow. Gillian Robertson coming out. It's got that bright red hair. You know that. It matches the bright red top and bottom that she's wearing. Hoping to be walking out of there with gold tonight. She's got the highest top position percentage in UFC strawweight history, the most submissions in women's history. She's on a 5-fight win streak. The Canadian, tough as nails. Tough as nails, taking on the Brazilian-American Mackenzie Dern. I thought it was interesting that Mackenzie had an interpreter this week. She speaks great English. This we know. Robertson quickly into the octagon, not messing around, man. Racing around the edge of it, energy, skipping around. She's ready to rock. Trying to get that belt around her waist tonight. And she's been waiting a long time for this opportunity. Was 10-1 as an amateur, 17-8 now as a pro. She's got to get takedowns and do damage from the top if she's going to beat Mackenzie Dern, though. Easier said than done. But if you take her down, you risk 1,000 different things on the ground, like Oliveira on the men's side. You know, or when those guys were fighting Damian Maia and he got title shots. And anybody who's great at jiu-jitsu like that. Oliveira, Dern, you know, right up there in that same category. But Dern might be the best to ever come into the octagon out of jiu-jitsu. That's saying a lot. She's about to make the walk right now. Biggest fight of her life. She's already won. You know, as hard as it is to get there and win the belt, it's twice as hard to keep it. We've heard this a million times. As Mackenzie Dern, the lights go out and the colors of the Brazilian flag take over the arena in Philadelphia. The decorated jiu-jitsu career, we've talked about that a million times, but in MMA, 21 fights, 16 wins, 5 losses, 4 by decision, only 1 finish. She's been knocked out 1 time. She's won 8 by submission and 8 by decision. Never a KO, TKO win. She uses her striking more to set up takedowns and jiu-jitsu sequences on the ground. She's on a 3-fight win streak herself. Born in Glendale, Arizona. Of course, fought at the MMA lab, Black House MMA. She's at RVCA, Jason Perillo. That explains the striking. But a 3rd-degree black belt in BJJ under Megaton Diaz, her father, of course. Megaton, a legend. She's 33 years old, Mackenzie. 31 is Robertson. Started competing at a young age, and, you know, at 33, she's been competing forever. Absolutely forever. Numbers going huge in the chat. Smash that like, hit that subscribe, throw a super chat our way if you love us. You know, we're having a great time here on MMA Weekly. Follow us on the other social media platforms. She's the strawweight champ, most submissions in UFC strawweight history with 5, the 2nd most wins in UFC strawweight history, tied for 2nd there. And, I mean, those numbers continue to add up for Mackenzie Dern. I knew her a little bit when she was living in Arizona, and I'd be out at the MMA lab. Shout out to my guys, John Crouch and Benson Henderson, by the way. Been a long time since Mackenzie was there. But Dern to win by submission is plus 240. Very interesting odd there. So check that out. Aggressive striker, and she needs to be very aggressive tonight. Wants to maintain top control if it goes to the ground, but she can submit you down there from any position. I mean, you're talking about an elite practitioner who can get you in anything, arm bars, knee bars, you know, ankle lock, whatever, every choke imaginable. She's got it all. She's got a bag, the Gen Zers would say. She's got a bag, and she's wearing the black and gold, of course, as John Anik would say, befitting a champion. And for the first time in her career, Mackenzie Dern about to walk into the octagon as the reigning UFC strawweight champion. And there she does it. Of course, Mackenzie has a lot of fans for a lot of other reasons, a ton of fans for her fighting style as well. She's a girl who combines it all. She's got the image. She's got the big following. She got all that. And right now she has the belt that Gillian Robertson and every other girl at strawweight wants wrapped around her waist. And it makes me wonder, I wonder if you know what it means. But what I'm wondering is what they're thinking in between these two. What is Jandiroba and Suarez? And, what are these girls thinking right now? Zhang Weili, ranked number 1. Jandiroba, number 2. Suarez, number 3. Robertson, 4, fighting the champion. Yan Jinan in there, who's got a win over Mackenzie. So, be interesting. 16-5, Mackenzie. Dern 17-8. The numbers are identical. Dern's an inch shorter, but the reach is exactly the same at 63 inches. Dern's 2 years older at 33. And they have Robertson listed as number 5 on Paramount Plus, but I don't understand that because I'm looking at the official UFC rankings right now, and I don't know. Who cares? Does it really matter? It's champ against either 4 or 5, and that's what it is. Staring across the octagon from one another. And if you think about it, man, Mackenzie Dern has fought every type of fighter, and so has Robertson by this point in time in their careers. They fought submission artists, they fought grapplers, they fought strikers. I think this is a more comfortable fight for a girl like Mackenzie Dern than just a straight-up striker. Peterson's the referee again. Peterson. And we are almost ready. Buffer is in full go mode right now. And we still have Islam and Ian Machado Garry as the numbers continue to surge on MMA Weekly. Who do you have to win this fight? Who are you laying your money down on? Are you a Mackenzie Dern fan? Are you a Gillian Robertson fan? Who's going to win and walk out of here tonight with that strawweight title? I'm never one to say that, oh, you really have to beat the champion. No. Once you walk into that octagon, you are not the champion anymore. That belt is up for grabs. I think it should be like a ladder match, and it should be hanging over the octagon, and whoever gets it at the end, they just climb up and grab it like WWE style. Why not? They're under the same umbrella, TKO. But, man, fighting out of Port St. Lucie, Florida by way of Niagara Falls, Canada. That's quite a change. Port St. Lucie's nice, by the way. Ton of Islam fans in the chat right now. The Savage, Gillian Robertson. And now Buffer turns his attention to the champion. Fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. Remember the Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz? Now he lives in Florida. Huntington Beach is dope. I love Huntington Beach. I got to go there when the UFC goes to LA. The reigning, defending strawweight champion of the world. She's smiling, nodding her head. She loves hearing that. Nodding right at Buffer as he does it. Fist bumping him. Maybe not as intensely focused. I don't know. I'm never one to read too much into that. You can still be focused and fist bump the ring announcer, especially Buffer. But a bucket list moment. I mean, they look exactly identical physically. Maybe a little more weight on Robertson after the weight gain. Get ready with the clock. They're about to get it on for the strawweight championship of the world. Mackenzie Dern defending against Gillian Robertson, the American against the Canadian. And we are just about to go. What's the holdup? Start the clock. Here they come. Middle of the octagon at the Monster Can. Dern aggressively coming forward right away with some jabs. Oh, and some combos right away from Mackenzie. Nothing landing, but aggressive from the start. Punches and kicks from the champion. High volume early. That's the game plan from Mackenzie Dern. You can see the Perillo influence more and more every fight. Right away, Robertson shoots for a takedown, and Mackenzie Dern stuffs it. Immediately, they start grappling. Mackenzie's got the equivalent of a front face lock on her, and now bulls her up against the cage. They're in the clench, and Robertson now spins her around and takes control. She looks to be a little bit stronger physically. I don't know, though. Mackenzie quickly out of there. Nice exchange from both girls. It's a nice start to this fight. Let's go. On MMA Weekly, UFC 330. It's Grease here with you like we have been since the pandemic, baby. Remember all those years ago? All those years ago. Oh, nice combo from Mackenzie Dern, a left and a right. Cracked her in the face, and her head didn't even move. That's a true Canadian right there. Shooting again and trying to get the left leg all the way down to the ankle of Dern as Robertson unsuccessful. man, she really wants to get this fight to the ground against a world-class jiu-jitsu artist. This is not something Mackenzie Dern is used to. Nice leg kick hitting that lead leg from Mackenzie. Just under 340 left in round number 1. Neither girl afraid of being in the pocket with the other, throwing hands, and that's a nice sign for both of them. Oh, nice left hook from Mackenzie Dern. Snaps the face across the right cheek of Robertson. Great way. You know, I mean, look, I mean, Robertson wants those takedowns, but a good way to stop her from shooting in is catching her on the way in with those big shots. And Mackenzie throwing a lot of kicks too, so you want to be careful you don't get caught on the takedown. But then again, if you get taken down, you also have to feel comfortable. I remember training and working with Henry Cejudo with Neuroforce 1 years ago when he's winning titles, and his heart rate would go down when he could be down on the ground wrestling. And that's Mackenzie Dern. She gets down on the ground, that's where her heart rate's going to go down. That's her comfort zone. Wild right hand misses over the head of Dern from Robertson. Under 3 minutes left in round number 1. High volume thrown by both these girls, as you'd expect at strawweight. You know, and neither girl has tremendous power. You know, Mackenzie Dern, for sure, is not a power striker. And when you think about Robertson, she's only got 3 KO, TKO finishes herself. So now that's why both these girls want to get it to the ground. And Dern really throwing volume, and she takes it into a double leg, and now she's in top position. Gillian Robertson wanted to be on the ground. Well, she is, but she's on her back against one of the best in the world at jiu-jitsu. And now we're going to see that MMA grappling versus the jiu-jitsu. Oh, Robertson going for the armbar on Mackenzie Dern. She had the arm popped in there, and now she's eating some big right hands for her troubles. Big shots landed by the champion. And now she's chest to chest with her on the ground. Wow. 12 takedowns from Mackenzie Dern. 3 takedowns in her first 9 UFC fights and 12 takedowns in her last, whatever it is, 4. Can't see it over the closed captioning. But Mackenzie Dern's landing a lot of punches now. That Jason Perillo influence, man. Remember, he guided Bisping to a title. I mean, that striking of Perillo is no joke, and you can see Mackenzie's boxing looking really good tonight. She punched her way into this takedown. As Robertson, the higher she brought those hands up, Mackenzie just waited for that opening and lightning fast with the takedown. And, you know, everybody was guarding against her takedowns early in her career because obviously they thought that was the only way to beat her. But her striking has gotten so much better. That's why she's able to get so many more takedowns. And she's pounding away with elbows and punches on the left leg of Robertson, who's got and now Mackenzie Dern transitioning, trying to get side control, but her left leg is caught between the legs, and you know how that is, of Robertson. Looking to go side control, but she doesn't have it yet. She doesn't seem to be working for really any submissions yet, just going more for control, throwing a lot of punches. But now Robertson gives up her back. And against Mackenzie Dern, who takes the top position, she's now straddled over her back, got the legs locked around her. And Robertson's a good grappler, don't forget, but not anywhere near the level, at least when it comes to this kind of grappling, as Mackenzie Dern. And she can be trained by Dean Thomas all she wants. You know, and she's done a lot with that too, but it's crazy. She gave up her back, and now Mackenzie Dern, she's got the rear naked in already. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. She's got the triangle, the rear naked. You can see the face turning red. It's over. Mackenzie Dern's about to defend her belt. Rolling over is Robertson. She's tough as nails. Won't tap. That is really sunk in. She's giving a thumbs up. Mackenzie better be careful not to gas herself out here. And what happened? That's it. Mackenzie Dern, wow. I didn't see a tap. I don't know if that was the tap or if it was the ref stopping it. I did not see the tap. But nothing accomplished for Gillian Robertson, and Mackenzie Dern just absolutely dominating there. I think, is that the end of the round? Wow, that went fast. Good Lord, I got wrapped up in that. That's the end of the round. She got saved by the bell there. She had the thumb up, but she got nothing done. I mean, that's a shutout right there. That is a shutout. And I can't believe how fast that round went. Mackenzie Dern was right there on top. She had the rear naked sunk in, was unable to get the finish. She had time to do it. Man, unbelievable. Almost got the choke. It was tight too. She didn't have it underneath all the way, just on the outside of the jaw and the chin on that one side, and we're getting ready to start round number 2. Damn, that was a fast round. Mackenzie Dern dominant in round number 1. Start the clock, round 2, here they come. Dern confidently taking the center of the octagon. Numbers in our chat are soaring. Let's go. This is a great fight. Performance by Mackenzie Dern behind the boxing of Jason Perillo as Robertson continuing to try to work her way in. She wants to take her down, get top position, and use her grappling. Oh, Mackenzie right into another double leg, and right on top she goes again. Yeah, you're better than me at grappling? What's up now? Man, a great round for Mackenzie Dern. Still got to be careful, though. Robertson's got some elite grappling. I mean, not on the level of Dern, and we know that. But Mackenzie looking to get into top position again, and she doesn't seem to be interested in any submissions right now. She's throwing bombs, and she's working for side control. She doesn't have it yet. Wow, Mackenzie Dern looking great in her first title defense so far. Far from over, scheduled for 5 rounds, and Robertson's already proven how tough she is, not tapping out. And that was a tough choke for Dern. She's got the shoulder dug into the throat. You know how that goes. She's trying to work that right leg free from between the legs of Robertson to get that side control. Mackenzie Dern looking for her first title defense. In her first title defense, and now she's got side control. Now she's got side control. And this is very dangerous for Robertson here now. And every guy in America is getting exactly what they want from this fight right now. Mackenzie Dern, full mount on the back now of Robertson. She's got the legs locked underneath. Perfect positioning. Looking to spread those legs out and cross those. Yeah, she's looking to lock those legs. She's got it. Yeah, but she does not have a choke locked in. She's got no submission up top. She's got the legs locked in, though. And she's literally, I mean, you got Robertson curled up in a fetal position. Dern staying on her back, looking to get another rear naked. Eventually going to work that through there, right? You have to figure. And she's on her back, but she's got Robertson on top of her with her back. She has her back, but she's on her back. You know what I'm saying? And she's working for that rear naked again, but she's got the arm in. Oh, she's got the arm in. Oh, man, that's brutal. The blood rushing from the head. Yeah, rear naked choke with the arm. If she could submit her this way, that'd be crazy. But now, oh, Robertson reverses, and she's on top. This might be her one chance, Mackenzie Dern. A great job by physically just brutalizing her way, utilizing her strength. Robertson to get the position she's wanted this whole fight. She's up top on Mackenzie Dern. And now Mackenzie rolling back the other way. And she's not leaving her any openings to really hit her. She's got that right leg of Robertson still, and she's got the legs wrapped around her. So Robertson for a second there had top position on Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie smartly rolling right out of it. Man, this is high level from the champion. Now Robertson throwing some punches to the legs of Mackenzie Dern. We got just under 2 minutes of the round. And Mackenzie rolling her way. There was right there. She still got that leg of Robertson. Got that right leg all locked up. And now she's rolling back the other way. This has turned into the Jiu-Jitsu Invitational. And Dern ducking a couple of punches. Oh, the hammer fist to the left side of the face from Robertson from the ground. And now Mackenzie Dern looking to take top position again. She's looking a little tired. I mean, this is exhausting grappling the way that they are. They're both breathing heavy. Mackenzie Dern looking up at the clock. She's got a figure 4 on Mackenzie Dern's right leg and not letting it go. That's why they're rolling together this whole time. Their limbs are conjoined at this point. They look like Siamese twins out there. Under a minute left in round number 2. That's how elite this is, right? The grappling. They don't call it rolling for no reason, right? Jiu-jitsu. So the left leg of Mackenzie Dern is trapped inside the legs of the figure 4 of Robertson. She's trying to pull it out with her arms right now and pull that leg apart. She's got her left arm in there. She does not want to have that leg trapped in there any longer, obviously. Now she's turned around, Robertson flat on her back, and Mackenzie sitting on her chest, trying to pull those legs apart and get her own left leg out of there. Robertson's so physically strong, but she's taking a barrage of elbows now to the outside of that right thigh from Mackenzie Dern. She's trying to throw shots at Mackenzie's face from that position, a couple of body shots, but Dern is not able to get that leg out of there. We got 15 seconds left in the round. A much closer round than round number 1. And now Dern finally gets the leg out, gets top position, posturing up. 5 seconds left in the round. Oh, that leg's trapped in there still. 2, 1. Oh, Robertson saved herself by having that leg wrapped in there. Mackenzie saved herself from being on bottom for that brief amount of time. But the physical strength of Gillian Robertson, about the only thing that saved her in that round. Man, oh man, what a fight. Hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. All y'all in the chat in there having a good old time. So Mackenzie Dern, that's 2 rounds, though, of a scheduled 5. And they both look pretty tired, but Mackenzie looks absolutely exhausted. Her corner's got to get her relaxed, get that breath right, give her a little water. There she goes, because that was a lot of energy to try to get that leg out, working for the submissions in 2 straight rounds. You can gas out, get taken down, and then you're weak. You're only a certain percentage of your strength, and this girl's super strong anyway. I think they're both okay, though. I think they're both okay. What a fight so far. That after round 1, to see what Mackenzie did, dominating it. Round 2, just back and forth. And I think Mackenzie may have won that round 2, just barely. We'll see. Still to come, Islam Makhachev, Ian Machado Garry for the welterweight strap. The pterodactyl from Ireland against the grappler and wrestler from Dagestan. As Islam goes for 17 wins in a row to break Anderson Silva's record. Round 3, Dern and Robertson start the clock. Here they come. The strawweight title on the line. Man, oh man, Mackenzie Dern looks a little, she looks fine though. She wants to keep boxing. Maybe not so quick to take her down again this round. Let's stay on the feet because Robertson's had no answer up there. Mackenzie doesn't have a ton of power up top, but those shots add up. Thing is, Robertson's physically strong with a great chin. Dern's lighting her up on the feet though. She's so quick with that Perillo training. I can't say that enough. She looks really great with the boxing. She's throwing kicks in there too. Robertson showing takedown. Dern gets out of the way. I don't think she wants to go back to the ground with her right now anyway. I wouldn't if I were Mackenzie Dern. I'd wait for my chance and then submit her if I could. But the way that she's having success on the feet, scoring with her punches, and then they add up, right? I would stay on the feet. And I think that's what her coach has told her. Look for the takedown if it's there, but, wear her out on the feet. Take her down when she's tired. Nice leg kick from Dern and a nice inside leg kick. She hit the outside of the thigh, then the inside of the thigh, back to back. Nice left lands from Robertson. She's coming forward now. Oh, Mackenzie's shooting in. Can't get the double leg, and now they're clenched up chest to chest. Robertson's so strong, pushing Mackenzie Dern around, who now spins, and a couple of uppercuts landing from Robertson. Nice ones. Mackenzie Dern has her up against the cage in the clench. Robertson's got the clinch on Dern. Dern looking to throw some knees at the thighs, inside and outside of Robertson, looking to make that cumulative effect of damage add up here. But again, such a nice exchange of grappling in that last round. Dern's almost had a submission a couple of times. Robertson was in top position where she wants to be once in the last round, but only that one time as we approach 3 minutes left in round number 3. The champion looking good so far, but it started to swing back a little bit in the last round. I don't know if Robertson scored as much as she survived that last round. They break the clench and come off the cage. Now back to the center of the octagon goes Mackenzie Dern to bring Robertson back there with her. She wants to stay in the middle and throw with her. And Robertson doesn't have a problem doing that. She's tough. She's got a chin. But for Mackenzie, she's landing numerous, voluminous combinations. Nice job by Mackenzie. Again, these two girls about physically identical, height-wise, reach-wise. And, Robertson doesn't have a lot of KO/TKOs in her career, but she does have power. Oh, Mackenzie with a nice combo. 3-punch combo. Bap, bap, bap. There's not a lot of power behind those, but they add up again. And she has really outclassed Robertson on the feet in this fight. Big time. We're circling around one another as we approach the 2-minute mark. Mackenzie throwing heavy volume. Oh, eats a nice left from Robertson and throws a nice right of her own. Trying to keep her off her with the jab. Mackenzie throwing a lot of volume with the jab. Big leg kick from Dern as well. Nice left from Robertson and an uppercut with the right. Half clench, she hit one. 1:45 left in round number 3. I don't think either girls hurt one another with any of the striking yet. And I don't know if it'll add up to that point. Nice right from Dern. Robertson, though, has figured out a couple of counters here. with the boxing of Mackenzie Dern, who's got to mix it up a little bit more, and she's done that. She's throwing double and triple jabs now, routinely. Robertson coming in with that closed stance. Hands are dropping a little bit, though. Oh, nice front kick from Mackenzie, but she eats the right hand for her troubles. Not a clean one. Glancing right hand. I don't see any blood anywhere yet. I don't see really any swelling yet. Dern landing another combo. But both these girls throwing a lot of volume. And now a double leg from Dern takes her down again. She's got takedowns in all 3 rounds, and she's got top position on Robertson here with under a minute left. If she can just hold this here, she'll win the round. And she might be able to catch her breath and rest a little bit. Just kind of jockeying a little bit. She's got the head down into the chest. And, of course, Robertson's going to hold her there. She's got her hook around that left arm. And now she's got the arm over the top of the head pulling her down. You know what I'm saying? As Mackenzie attempts to posture up and try to throw some shots down. Got to watch the arm bar. She's up out of there. She wants to throw shots and get a finish with – she really wants a finish with striking. You can see that. And now she's just kind of toying with her a little bit. You only got 12 seconds left in the round. Turtled up is Robertson. Mackenzie's on her back. And this round is going to end just like this with a big knee from Mackenzie Dern. Remember the knee from Gaethje to Topuria that ended the last round on the White House card? Looked just like that. That could cause some damage. Mackenzie Dern, beautiful combinations on the feet, into the takedown. Remember I said in the beginning of the round she was going to be patient for the takedown. She waited until the very end of the round to win the round. Smart fighter. Championship level. Mackenzie Dern. Look at those numbers we got here. What are you guys thinking of this fight? Mackenzie looks a little less tired in between rounds this time than last time. Face not swollen too bad. No blood anywhere. Gets tough to keep your attention. Now you get into the championship rounds. And Robertson really breathing heavily this time. And she's got a big mouse under her left eye with the scratches on the edge of it. Not really bleeding all that much, if any. She's a tough cookie, man. She's from Canada, eh? I mean, you know she's got a chin. And she probably could drink you under the table. I'm just saying. As we get set for round number 4, both girls looking freshened up and ready to rock. Here they come. Start the clock now. Round number 4. Bang. Look at that. We're on our game tonight. Oh, Mackenzie goes with the right left. She threw a 2-1 combo. Changing it up Perillo style. And she looks good on the feet. Now, Robertson can't box with her. She cannot box with her. Oh, Mackenzie right into a takedown. Oh, man. Tried to sprawl. She didn't have time to sprawl Robertson. And now Mackenzie with the double leg dumps her right down and right into that same position again. She ate a nice elbow, though, to the temple for her troubles on the way in. On the way down, actually. But Mackenzie Dern, top position. Oh, and she's got her legs free. She's got her legs free looking for that triangle wrapped around Robertson, and she's going to want to try to get the choke in here again. They're up against the cage. On her knees with her head on the ground is Robertson. Mackenzie looking to get that body triangle locked in. She's just about got it. And now she's got it. Oh, it's locked in, and she's going nowhere. Robertson's dead meat. She's dead meat. Mackenzie's back and shoulders are up against the cage. She's on her back. She's got Robertson's back. And now just the physical strength in the arms of Robertson are keeping Mackenzie Dern from choking her lights out. She's got that body triangle completely locked in. Completely. And now looking to fight off that choke attempt is Robertson. But Mackenzie Dern, remember I told you, she gets on the ground like this, her heart rate decreases. She's in her comfort zone. And now she's looking to get that rear naked that she had in round number 1 and couldn't get the finish with. Looking to get that again. Remember, she had the arm in rear naked in last round. And now with 3:20 and counting remaining in the round, she's got the back. They're on their sides. She's got the arm underneath the chin just about. No, it's across the face. Remember, the crippler cross face. And now Robertson looking to keep that choke from happening and doing anything she can against the world-class jiu-jitsu artist in Mackenzie Dern, who's going to keep that body triangle locked in as they hit the 3-minute mark. And Mackenzie's got her head against the back of the cage. She's not overly exerting herself here. Again, I said her heart rate goes down. She's probably getting her wind back up here, trying to get that arm flattened out and sneak in that choke. And she could also try a variety of other things here with her bag, so to speak, her repertoire. 2:30 just about remaining in the round. Our clock's dead on with the clock in the octagon. Beautiful job, Scott, as always. Man, and Mackenzie Dern is actually hitting Robertson with a lot of shots to the side of the face here. And Robertson's just kind of flailing back, hitting her with these little tiny ones, and they don't really do much. Eventually, Mackenzie Dern looking to find her opening. It's kind of like, the Burmese python or the anaconda. Eventually, they find that opening, and you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But Dern flat on her back, Robertson right on top of her, flat on her back, and that body triangle is going nowhere, Mackenzie Dern. 2 minutes left for Robertson to survive. She's trying anything she can to turn sideways here. Mackenzie Dern trying to flatten her back out. Again, that body triangle against the world-class jiu-jitsu champion is going nowhere. And now Mackenzie Dern looking to slide that arm underneath and get the rear naked. And she's happy also to continue to punch and take, more and more shots at the face of Gillian Robertson. Now she's throwing elbows to the top of the head, side of the head. You got to be careful not to hit the back there, obviously. Oh, and Robertson works her way free. She broke the triangle, and now she's on top. How does she do this again? This is the second time in the fight. Pure brute physical strength, and she's got 1:15 to try to do whatever she can against Mackenzie Dern here. This is her position. This is what she wanted. This is where she wanted this fight to be all along. I can't believe she survived that with Mackenzie. Beautiful job by Robertson. She escaped the body triangle. And now Dern is completely upside down and turtled up. She's got her legs in between Robertson's chest and head and her body. She's not giving her any. She's got a little blood coming out of her nostril, but she's not giving her any openings to ground and pound because that's what Robertson wants. She could work for a submission from here. She's not going to submit Mackenzie Dern from here. I think Mackenzie's more than happy to ride this out or, to, so to speak, from the bottom. Robertson's kind of exhausted. She doesn't really have that much of a wherewithal to do anything with this. She's got 30 seconds in the position she's wanted the whole fight. She hasn't been able to get it here. There's no urgency from her. Is she just too tired to take advantage of the situation? There's under 20 seconds left in the round. Mackenzie Dern finally has her grip broken from that right arm of Gillian Robertson, who's trying to punch Mackenzie Dern, but Mackenzie has that right leg locked in and not giving her anything to hit there. 3, 2, 1, end of the round. Beautiful defense by Mackenzie Dern. Gave her nothing in the position she wanted for the whole fight. And incredible strength from Robertson in this fight, by the way. If it weren't for her physical strength, man, I would love to be in her gym on strength days, on S&C days, and see what she's throwing up for weight. Because that girl is strong AF, man. I'm telling you what. The chat's really humming now. We got people arguing about the main event. We got people talking about this one right here on MMA Weekly. Smash that like, hit that subscribe, the bell, so you know when we're coming your way with more great content, not just what we're doing here today. Day in, day out, week in, week out here on Facebook, X, Instagram, and of course, MMAWeekly.com. The great Jeff Kane, my former partner. Shout out to Jeff. Love me some Jeff Kane. As we get set for round number 5, the champion has looked dominant. I think she's won every round. Will Mackenzie Dern, who's had a takedown in every round, walk out of there with the belt she came in with? Start the clock. Round number 5. Here they come. Oh, the clock is dead on again. Beautiful. If I'm Mackenzie Dern, I sit back behind the boxing again. I don't let this fight go down to the ground again. You got exhausted down there. You tried to submit her. You did everything you could. You've won the grappling exchanges. And, oh, she's peppering her on the feet. Mackenzie Dern throwing bombs. Robertson doesn't seem to be phased, though. Man, she's tough. She's super strong. She's got a chin. She keeps coming forward into the combos of Mackenzie Dern. She wants to clench it up and push her back into the cage, and she's able to do that. And now Mackenzie Dern looking to fight and get Robertson off of her. Robertson's going to want to drop that down into a takedown, but Mackenzie's got an underhook on the right side, and she's got those arms wrapped around her. She's got the right arm under the left arm of Robertson, so she's not going to be able to go down and scoop her. She might be able to get a single with the other arm, but that's not likely against a girl like Mackenzie. 4 minutes left in the fight. Robertson desperately trying for a single leg. Dern with that weight firmly down, trying to prevent it, and she can't. Takedown for Robertson. Now she's on top with 3:50 remaining in the fight. This is dangerous for Mackenzie Dern. Will the brute strength and just refusal to quit from Gillian Robertson eventually wear down the champion and lead to a 5th round finish, which is the only way I think she can win this fight? Dern punching from the bottom. Again, she's blocking herself from being hit with her legs, and they're pressed between the chest and the head of Robertson. And then she's got her wrist control of her right arm. She's not letting Robertson posture up and try to hit her at all. Great defense with the leg, with everything from Mackenzie Dern she's got. But she's got 310, and she's got a savage of a beast on top of her. So much physical strength for Gillian Robertson that I don't know if Mackenzie Dern's going to get out of this. This is a very interesting plot twist as we hit the 3-minute mark. Robertson finds herself exactly where she wants right now, which is exactly where she was at the end of the last round. Mackenzie with a big elbow, and don't forget she can armbar you at any time. She can grab your legs and do whatever. You know, so this is not a guaranteed win or anything like that for Robertson, but she's laying on top of the champion now with, she's literally right between the legs. She hasn't transitioned into anything like side control, although she's looking to, and she looks like she might be able to get that here if she continues to work for it. She wants to throw elbows into Mackenzie Dern's face, not allowing her to do that. Mackenzie's got the arm right in there. Over 4.5 rounds, by the way. The over was at -165, and we just hit that. We're headed toward the last 2 minutes of round number 5. Mackenzie Dern's just got to survive. Robertson needs a finish. Now she's got the knee resting on the side of the face of Dern, who manages to free herself from that. The legs coming up and around for Mackenzie. Now she turns sideways, looking anything she can to avoid the punches and the ground and pound of Robertson as we go under 2 minutes. Robertson has the 3rd longest active takedown streak in UFC women's history or in the women's division, and she just got her first one of this fight, and now she's on top. But Mackenzie Dern, she just has to avoid the ground and pound. Hold those arms. Keep those fists from flying. Don't get submitted, and you're going to win. And she's eating some big elbows to the midsection now. Mackenzie Dern being dominated, but this is Robertson's strength, literally, brute strength. I don't think Mackenzie's getting up. We got a minute 30 left in the fight. Mackenzie Dern, a 95% likely to win on Polymarket right now. And unless she gets finished, she's going to. But she's holding Robertson now tight. Robertson trying to shake free and throw punches. She just hasn't been able to really get anything going offensively from top position. This is brilliant defense from the bottom by Mackenzie Dern as we approach 1 minute left in this strawweight title fight. And Mackenzie Dern at any time could get offensive and get a submission here. But Robertson continuing to try. She's got the forearm into the face of Dern. She's not able to throw any punches, not able to get anything going from top at all. Wow, what defense from Dern. 45 seconds left. And we still have Islam and Ian Machado Garry coming up. 40 seconds. Mackenzie Dern fighting desperately to hold on and keep that belt. Bring it home to California. Gillian Robertson, the Canadian, wants to take it back to Port St. Lucie, Florida. They're under 30 seconds left. Man, she has made it so hard for Robertson to do anything. Mackenzie has. She can't even hit her from the top position. We got under 20 seconds left. Dern rotating away. And Robertson quickly grabbed the cage, was warned by Peterson. I don't think she's landed any shots from top. It's insane what Mackenzie Dern's done defense-wise. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I think we have Ann Still. That was some brilliant defense from Mackenzie Dern. But, Gillian Robertson, to her credit, she wanted to fight that way. She did not want to be on the feet. Mackenzie Dern clearly had the biggest advantage on the feet. But on the ground, Gillian Robertson held her own against the great Mackenzie Dern grappling-wise. Brute strength, a big part of it. But once she got that top position, and she had it for a long time in this last round, she could not do anything with it because of the defense of Mackenzie Dern. And that boxing that she's got from Perillo, that's going to be a problem for anyone else in the division. Suarez or Zhang or anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very impressed with the evolution and the improvement, fight in and fight out. The goal is to get better every time, and Mackenzie Dern's definitely done that. There's no denying that, no arguing that. Man, oh man, oh man, what a fight from Mackenzie Dern. What a performance. I don't know if it's a 50-45. I think it might be a 49-46 after this last round. But we got Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry coming up. And I know that Robertson, I mean, she doesn't feel like she got beat up. She has a black eye. She doesn't feel like she got hurt on the feet. She doesn't feel like she got dominated grappling-wise. And there is Mackenzie Dern's beautiful daughter. Wow. Oh, there's Tiki, Rampage's manager. I think is her manager now, too. Mackenzie's little girl's getting big. I remember when she was pregnant. She came back a better fighter. It's not always the case. Perillo hugging her. I'd be too hugging her. I mean, the way she fought, the way she implemented what she's been taught by Perillo, the striking has gotten better and better and better, which is why she's getting more and more takedowns every fight, right? But she clearly won the takedown battle. She had more control time. She won the striking battle by a mile. Let's see what the official word is, but it's definitely Mackenzie Dern. And still, without a doubt, let's see from Buffer. Oh, I'm not seeing the closed captioning. It's not working. Shocker there. I know it's Mackenzie Dern. Let's see. It hasn't updated yet, and I wasn't able to see it. Obviously, can't have my volume on. But Mackenzie Dern and still. Unanimous decision. Yeah, okay, so what in the world? Okay, 249-46 is which I get, but there was a 48-47 there. Who in the hell would have ever given 2 rounds to Robertson? That's absurd. Mackenzie's got the second most wins in UFC strawweight history with 12. Angela Hill's got 13. She lost a lot of tough decisions too, Hill. And I can't tell anything that she's saying, unfortunately, because I'm not getting the closed captioning right now. She almost got the rear naked. She got the arm in rear naked. You know what I mean? So she definitely controlled the grappling as well. But, Gillian Robertson, don't hang your head, man. In there against a world-class elite grappler and holding your own on the ground. Still can't get my closed captions to work. But anyway, I'm not a lip reader, but that was a nice win by Mackenzie Dern. I mean, she did dominate that fight. I don't see a 48-47. I see 49-46 all day. That last round I'd give to Robertson, but it was already 4-zip Dern. And she doesn't really have any damage. She didn't really take much. She's going to be worn out. I mean, that's a lot of work. Man, oh man. Only thing left now is the main event. Michael Morales in the crowd. Carlos Prates, he's a bad mofo, I'll tell you that. Man, now the over-under is, will I make it through this show without peeing myself? There's Patty the Batty. What a great job he did last time out, and he's sucking down a cheesesteak. He's always eating. That dude's funny, man. But the way that, he's getting up and doing his dance, he's got the whole crowd doing it. All he did was stand up on camera and start doing his dance, and the whole crowd's doing it. Patty the Batty. Man, did he look good his last time out, did he not? Shut everybody up, including me. I'll tell you that. Oh, Gaethje's in the crowd. Man. The UFC lightweight champ, former 2-time interim lightweight champ and former BMF champ. And man, it's good to be Justin Gaethje right now. How about the odds on Islam and Ian Machado Garry? We've got a plus 205 Makhachev by decision, minus 115, 20 plus strikes in round number 1, and minus 340 Islam with the most strikes. Interesting. Minus 340 on that, huh? Very interesting. Very interesting. And we're hitting a break. Scott, I have to take a quick, I'll be right back. Can you take this for 1 second, just in case? I have no choice. I'll be right back.
I'm just calling to say I...
All right, made it back. Man, thank you, Scott. I had no choice. I filled up 2 water bottles, man.
How was the color?
2 of the big ones, too. It still couldn't, man. I had no more water bottles over here. That's unbelievable. It's Arizona in the summertime. It's like, just so you know, where I live, it's like 105, 110 every day. So you're just nonstop drinking water, water, water. And you're either drinking too much and you're peeing all day, or you don't have enough and you're cramping. And now I'm actually cramping, which is unbelievable. I mean, it's like management. I mean, so of all these things, and you don't ever want to have a UFC fight card in the summer out here for sure, with people cutting weight and all that. But anyway, TMI, Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry coming up next. A lot of people want to see Ian Machado Garry get knocked the F out. We know this, right? We know this. Islam versus history, probably the number one storyline tonight. 17 straight with a win would beat Anderson Silva's UFC record. Is Garry the wrong stylistic opponent for him? He's younger. He's way taller and longer. He's technically sophisticated for sure. And, it's the guy's a 155-pound champion. You're fighting him at 170. So I think that there's a lot to that. I absolutely really think there's a lot to that, and we shall see. I mean, where would he fit in the GOAT conversation with a win tonight? That's what I want to know. I mean, look, 2-division champion. He beat Volkanovski twice. He beat Oliveira, Poirier, Moicano, Jack Della Maddalena. Khabib saying he still has more records to break if he wants to be in the GOAT conversation. But I think he's right in the neighborhood. I don't know about the GOAT because I don't think anybody's ever going to beat what John Jones did. I could never say anybody's the GOAT over John Jones. 2-division champ, what he did to Stipe, what he did to Cyril Gane, as good as Gane looked against Pereira, what he did to 3 generations of light heavyweights, including the great, all-time great Daniel Cormier, legends like Machida and Shogun, Vitor Belfort, you name them. He cleaned out that whole generation of legends, one by one. Rampage, Rashad, all of them, right? And then he goes to the next one, his own guys, his own group, DC, Gustafsson, all that group. And he obviously fought his way through that. And Santos and Dominic Reyes, maybe the closest to beat him, he and Gustafsson, right? But then he went on and started beating that next generation of light heavyweights. He cleared out 3 generations in his division, man. You're never going to beat that without a loss. And don't give me the Matt Hamill crap. It wasn't a loss. Should have been overturned a long time ago. If it wasn't John Jones, it would have been, I think. You know what I think? I really do think that would have been that, and it would have been overturned. But we'll see. Man, but it just is interesting to see. And I'm going to look at some of the bets here in a minute for you, because I know, some of you guys love to have a little friendly here and there, but 6'3" in Machado Garry right there, the pterodactyl. He says Islam has to catch him before he can wrestle him. He's going to keep him at distance and not to mention get cracked on the way in. So, Islam's going to want to take him down and beat him up or submit him. And you know that. We've got Dern defending her belt tonight. We got Jalen Turner with a 39-second KO win over Kawe Fernandes, who for some reason inexplicably tried to throw a spinning back fist and got cracked with a left hook and then pounded out. And maybe a little bit of an early stoppage there. Dustin Stoltzfus, man, he just beat up Mansour Abdul Malik in every possible way. Peppered him in the face, bloodied his nose, elbowed him in the temple, a couple more hammer punches there, spun him around, got the choke on him, rear naked, got the body lock on him, and bang, the triangle, and it was a wrap. Rear naked choke, round 2, 425. And then Esteban Ribovics, a TKO of Edson Barbosa, round 2, 132. Just a lot of combos. Barbosa got cracked in the nose with an elbow. Maybe an early stoppage from Herb Dean, but then Barbosa retires. And Ian Machado Garry, you think about the way that he fights, right? I mean, dude, he's just so quick and he's so technical with his striking. I mean, Conor never had the height like this, right? I don't know that he's quite the striker that Conor was. He's not going to go box a world champion boxer like Mayweather the way Conor did. But, you know, what he did against Bilal Muhammad with those kicks to keep him off him, Bilal Muhammad couldn't get anywhere near him because of those kicks, man. And that's what we're looking at here, you know, for Islam. But again, man, oh man. And Islam just coming off the win over Della Maddalena last November in his welterweight debut. He's once he gets his hands on you and chokes you, you know, that's a wrap. And he beat Volk at the pinnacle of Volk in one of the best fights I've ever seen. You know that. And he beat him a couple times, right? Obviously. But you look at who Islam has beaten. Della Maddalena, Moicano, Poirier, Volk twice, Oliveira, coming off of that run where he was doing like the Drew Dobers, Dan Hookers, and Bobby Greens of the world, right? That level. Then he just jumps right up and takes Dubronx out with an arm triangle choke. And that's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu guys in the world. He knocked him down, stunned him on the feet, which everybody was doing against Dubronx, but no one wanted to go to the ground with him. He did. He got the blueprint on him. Gaethje, Poirier, and Chandler were all kicking themselves after that, wishing they'd have done the same thing, but they didn't. And that's why Oliveira had that run. But then he beats Volk. Beautiful decision win where Volk was on top of him, beating the piss out of him at the end of the fight, and he hung on and won. But then, you know, the head kick and the punches, he beats Volk, and then he submits Poirier with the Bravo choke, gets Moicano on the same thing. Della Maddalena just dominates him to win his welterweight debut and take the belt with him. And for Ian Machado Garry, I mean, he lost the unanimous decision to Shavkat Rakhmonov, and that was a welterweight title eliminator. But, I mean, before that, you know, he beats the guys he should have beaten all the way up to, like, Daniel Rodriguez, the TKO, and Neil Magny by decision, and Jeff Neal, Michael Venom Page, all by decision. And remember the Page fight, everybody's saying that might be where he gets his, but no. He lost to Shavkat by decision, but then he beats Carlos Prates, who's a savage, by decision, and Bilal Muhammad by decision. So he can get in there with tough guys, with strong guys, with grapplers, with guys who love to mix it up, clench it up, take you down, beat you up. You know what I'm saying? He's good at that. He's good at that. He's gotten so much better, and now he will get the ultimate test tonight. He will get the ultimate test tonight. And I'll tell you what, his Machado Garry name is Machado's his wife's maiden name. He took his wife's name, and he's been getting a lot of crap. People calling him all kinds of names because he's in touch with his feminine side, and he's been saying women should control the world. And Mackenzie Dern came out and said during Fight Week that she likes a man to take charge, you know, and everybody's asking these questions because of Ian Machado Garry, which I find to be absurd. But I guess when you make your wife's name part of your name, I don't know. But, man, this is going to be a lot of fun to see what happens. You know, he's got his shot here. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance. And he's got the Irish flag wrapped around him. Yes, he does, as he makes his way with that confident look on his face from Dublin, Ireland. He was inspired to try judo, became a black belt there. He's not just a striker, man. Those judoka throws will help you a lot against a wrestler. Not you know, as much as being an elite wrestler, don't get me wrong. I don't want to get carried away, but you know, he is with Shootbox Diego Lima. He was with Killcliff FC. You know, he's been in there with some dudes who are killers, and he's held his own and won. You know, 18 fights, 17 wins, that one loss. But he was the Cage Warriors champion. You know what I mean? He's just, his amateur record 6-1. One loss, and his wife just makes out with him in front of everybody. I got to say, man, the dude looks like he's really enjoying life. He looks loose. He looks ready to go. He's 28 years old. He's feeling like it's his time. He calls himself the future. Well, that future, guess what, is right now. And it's right here live on MMA Weekly. Give us a shout, if you would, in the chat. Where are you at? Tell us where you're from. Roll call, MMA Weekly, UFC 330. Look at that chat go crazy. Let's go. Who do you have in the main event? Is it Islam Makhachev, the champion, looking to break the record of the Spider Anderson Silva? Or is it this man, the challenger, about to walk into the octagon? He's taking off the rosaries. Ian Machado Garry. I'm getting fired up. You can hear it in my voice, right? This is awesome. And Prates, of course, ranked ahead of Ian Machado Garry. And Islam is the champ. He's got the most wins in the welterweight division since 2021. He's got the fourth largest significant strike differential among active UFC welterweights, 1.92 per minute. The number one contender right now. The Irish flag around his waist, the green tights as well. And man, we are seeing some absolute incredible fights on this card tonight. Man, I'll tell you what, he had Damian Maia. He's got Damian Maia in his corner. You want to learn how to grapple and avoid being submitted, there's your guy. Man, he and Tyron Woodley was one of the most boring title fights in UFC history, but no one wanted to go to the ground with Maia, kind of like Oliveira. But we're seeing it now. I mean, Robertson going to the ground with Dern, Ian Machado Garry. Most ranked wins since his debut in November of 2021 in the welterweight division. He's beaten 6 ranked opponents since then. I mean, the dude's the real deal. No matter what Sean Strickland says on social media. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to. Look at those numbers we got going here on MMA Weekly. Let's get it popping. Smash that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content as we continue live. The UFC's in Philly, and wherever you are, it's great to have you with me and us here tonight. Really enjoying this one as the arena goes dark. The legendary champion, Islam Makhachev, looking to defend the welterweight belt for the first time. Will he break the record of the Spider Anderson Silva? I remember being in the front row, well, actually the fourth row of the media section, press row, when we used to get good seats before all the, never mind, came into the game. But I remember being right there, and I remember seeing Weidman hit Silva with that left. And I'm like, holy shoo, wow, did I really just see that? The people in Philly could be in for one of those right now as Islam makes his way out. He looks a little loose as always. He's got Khabib right there with him. You know what I mean? So he's from Dagestan, obviously, and Team Nurmagomedov with Abdul Manap, and Khabib. He was coached by Khabib's father, and now Khabib. And, you know, I mean, obviously you got Javier Mendez and that influence as well at AKA. So he's a good striker. He's trained with Cormier and Khabib and all those guys there. But, you know, he's the undisputed champ, but it's only his second fight at welterweight, right? And he is the 155-pound champ. So he's small compared to Ian Machado Garry. That size won't matter on the ground, but will Garry be stronger? I doubt it. But will Garry be that much quicker? And again, with Javier Mendez in your corner, if it turns into a kickboxing matchup, you know Islam doesn't feel too bad about that. He's able to do that. He's got some finishes on his record on that side. I mean, but Sarukian he beats by decision. You know, I mean, that'd be a nice rematch. And that fight's coming up, by the way. Sarukian's fighting as the co-main out in which fight card is that? I'm lost a little bit here because I'm wrapped up in this fight. That is the Van Pantoja card as well. So Sarukian and Mauricio Huffy. So that's going to be dope. But right now, all we're thinking about is Anderson Silva's record and Islam Makhachev. And I was doing a show called the Power MMA Show back then with Ryan Bader and Aaron Simpson, CB Dollaway, and more on that in a minute. The former lightweight champion. He's got the longest win streak in UFC history, tied with Anderson Silva for 16. 11 fighter in UFC history to earn titles in 2 different weight classes. Remember when it was the first? BJ Penn, right? Man, it's a long time ago. But think about this. We've only had 3 decisions on this card so far. 11 fights, 3 decisions, 8 finishes. The crowd wants the main event to be right there with that. Islam in the white and gray with the black and gold, shimmying from side to side, looks jacked and in shape as always, but much smaller physically than Ian Machado Garry, and that matters. But I remember at the time, Chris Weidman was represented by the same manager as Ryan Bader and Aaron Simpson and those guys. Robbie Lawler, by the way, still middleweight Robbie Lawler, before he won the welterweight title, was training there too at Power MMA. And I was deeply in with those guys. And I remember being with Weidman a lot during that camp, and he was just very confident that he was going to shock the world. And it was not just outwardly confident for the cameras. He was legit, like, knew he was going to win. And I get that same vibe from Ian Machado Garry. Dare I call an upset here, Scott? The masculine world is going to go nuts if Ian Machado Garry wins here. 4.5-inch reach advantage. 6 years younger, though. Islam's 34. People forget that. And he does have a loss. And people say John Jones does too, but he doesn't. Now, Islam lost all the way back at UFC 192 in his second UFC fight to Adriano Martins by a knockout, by a punch. And he was 1-1 in the UFC. And then he just went on this ridiculous run, and he hasn't lost since. And the last one was Della Maddalena, but before that, he cleaned out 155. But up at welterweight, these dudes are bigger, man. And, I know he had an easy time with Della Maddalena, but this is a very different fighter in Ian Machado Garry. He's chasing immortality tonight. We got Herb Dean in the main event here. The all-time UFC record for wins in a row, 16, shared by Islam and Anderson Silva. And Anderson Silva, one of the greats. I still have him on my Mount Rushmore. And one of my favorite guys, too. I love Anderson Silva. Shout out to my boy. And a lot of us love Anderson Silva, not just me. But Islam, Oliveira, Volk twice, Poirier, Moicano. Dare I call the upset? I'm waffling, Scott. I'm teeter-tottering on the edge of picking Ian Machado Garry, and I can't believe it. I think he can catch him. I think he can catch him from that distance. I think he's quick, but I know that Islam is so good, and he rushes you so quick with those takedowns, and then once you're on that ground, you're dead meat. He's got records to chase. They're talking about records. Gary's hungry. He's talking about the belt. Khabib's talking about Islam chasing records of Jones and Mighty Mouse. And, Islam saying it's not going to be my biggest challenge, although he acknowledges he's a good striker, has good wrestling defense. But Islam believes there are levels, and he doesn't view Garry as being on his. But, Islam he views Garry as somebody who often fights defensively, wins points rather than destroying opponents, but that wins, and it wins in title fights. Fighting out of Dublin, Ireland, he's smiling. He is not shrinking from the moment absolutely at all. He believes he's the nightmare matchup, much like Weidman was for Silva, for Islam Makhachev. He doesn't believe that Islam can get close to him. And we'll see. He says you can't wrestle something you can't touch, and he's face-to-face with Buffer right now. Forehead to forehead. Forehead to forehead. Look at Buffer. Nobody does it like Buffer, man. I love this dude. Can Islam catch him? Can Ian Machado Garry wrestle defensively at very least? And he looks like a monster next to Islam. He's got to have a whole bunch of weight on him right now, and we saw that with Gillian Robertson, as Islam's a minus 370 favorite. We saw that, and Gary's been saying it's been coming for years. Is this the coronation? His only loss to Shavkat Nurmagomedov. He's never been finished. Man, oh man. Wow. Garry talking like a champion, not a challenger. Connor picked him. We know this already. Sean O'Malley says he might do it. Weidman says he's got to frustrate Islam. And Weidman knows what it takes to beat the supposedly unbeatable. But you know that that's not the way that it goes. You know what I mean? But, man, Islam minus 350, minus 360. Garry plus 275, plus 285. Islam's obviously the favorite. But you're not going to lay that at minus 360. Gary's towering over him. Man, oh man, this is going to be fun. Size and distance against wrestling and brute strength. But is Islam physically stronger? We don't know that. Unbelievable. Here they come. This is going to be a fantastic fight. Islam Makhachev, the welterweight champ. Ian Machado, Garry, the challenger. Start the clock. Here they come. It is on like Donkey Kong. 17-1 versus 28-1. And oh man. Forget merely defending the championship. Islam is looking for history. And you can already see those pterodactyl arms and legs of Garry are massive compared to Islam Makhachev. And Islam not so quick to rush in for a shot at the takedown. Tries an inside leg kick. Islam, you can already see him struggling with the distance. This dude is huge, Ian Machado, Garry, compared to Islam Makhachev. Massive height and reach difference, and the legs super long. And, of course, Garry got to be careful with those kicks. If I were him, I'd make it a boxing match early. No kicks allowed, man. Just measure him up, start landing that jab from distance. Don't let him in. Do not let him in. Keep him at the door. Let him keep on knocking, but do not let him in. Islam tries a high kick, goes nowhere near the head of Ian Machado, Garry. Quickly across the cage goes Islam for the takedown, single leg. He got it. Oh, he got it already. Wow, beautiful job by Makhachev. Just got the bottom of that leg and was able to transition into a takedown of Ian Machado, Garry. And I don't think Garry thought Islam was that quick. He barely got the bottom of the leg, about halfway down the calf. And he was able to score the takedown based on that. Now he's got his back, and he's wrapped around his waist. But Garry posturing up, he's very strong. Getting all the way over toward the cage now. Islam riding his back all the way over there. Going to be interesting to see what happens here. Islam, 6-0 in UFC championship fights. He broke Jack Della Maddalena's 18-fight winning streak. Not UFC wins, but 18 fights overall. He's defending an era, and he's trying to become... at least put himself in the conversation to be the GOAT, the metaphorical GOAT, because there really is no GOAT. You know, comparing eras, you're comparing this, you're comparing that. It's just like the LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I mean, you know, really, it's just impossible. But man, I mean, Garry taken down a little easier than he probably thought he would have been. And now Islam is nailing the outside of that left leg, the thigh of Ian Machado, Garry, with knee after knee after knee, trying to chop that tree down. And, you know, again, the height advantage doesn't matter when you're on the ground or when you're grappling the way it does when you're on the feet, obviously. And that's where Ian Machado, Garry had his biggest advantage. And I don't think he thought Islam could get him from that far out, but so quick, man, scurrying across the ground. That's why you do those crab walks and those bear crawls and all those things in wrestling practice and the pegboard, you know, because you can shimmy around the ground like a snake at high speed and just grab the bottom of that leg and turn it into a takedown. That was really impressive by Islam. But I mean, what do we've come to expect from him, right? What have we come to expect? 2 minutes remaining in the round. All that height and all that length and all that doesn't matter. All the significant strikes landed per minute, 4.78, the 54% accuracy, the 74% reach, 74-inch reach, the 1.5 significant strikes per minute, the significant strike defense. None of that matters now for Garry. He's fighting off submissions, ground and pound. He has not been on the ground, right? Islam got the takedown. Garry got up. Now he's looking for that inside leg trip. There's an inside of 1:30 left in the round. Islam's definitely winning the round, but Ian Machado, Garry might be winning the exchange. And you think about, you know, Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland. Garry is so physically strong at 170. He's probably more of a 185er, truth be told, if he wanted to be, but so physically strong at this weight class that Islam's having a hard time just having his way with him strength-wise, like he has so many other fighters on this run and in this streak in 6-0 in title fights. But he's clearly fighting the biggest, strongest guy he's fought so far. And that's not a knock on Della Maddalena. It's just saying that I'm impressed with Garry's strength and to be able to keep himself on his feet here. Although Islam's got that figure four wrapped around that right leg. Now he lets it go. Ian Machado, Garry is elbowing the arm, the forearm of Islam Makhachev, trying to break that grip around his waist. But he's got 30 seconds left to survive in round number one. Islam trying to hip toss him, can't do it. He's too strong, sprawled down. Ian Machado, Garry, the physical strength like we saw from Gillian Robertson, Islam still can't get him with that leg trip. He's got to be wondering what he's got to do to take this guy down, but he's, you know, sort of mission accomplished in round one for Islam, although I think he's finding it to be much, much harder than he thought it would be. And Garry, I know, didn't think Islam could take him down the way that he did. So the contrast in styles here are already apparent as we hit the end of round number 1. Ian Machado, Garry not breathing heavy at all. It's kind of like Sean Strickland in the Hamzat fight where he just, hey, weather the storm early, tire him out a little more than you are. I mean, he's chewing his gum slowly. He's not at all seeming to be worn down. He's not breathing heavy, and they haven't shown Islam's corner yet. He says the future is inevitable. It's a tattoo that he has on his body. And of course, when your nickname's the future, and that future is now, Islam is he's sweating. He looks a little tired. Khabib is like screaming at him urgently. He says, when you're standing up, be careful. Yeah, no kidding, Coach Khabib. Absolutely great advice there. Damian Maia in the corner of Ian Machado. Garry has to think he did a beautiful job there. Here they come. Start the clock. Round number 2. See if Ian Machado Garry can stay on his feet this round. You know what I mean? He's got to be careful throwing kicks. He just threw a couple of them there. Got to be really quick and low. Really low, because this dude can change levels so fast and come down and get you like a snake on the ground. I mean, it's easy for him. He keeps feinting and showing takedowns. The other thing Islam's got to watch is running into a knee on the way in, because that could happen pretty easily. And he's so much taller. Garry is like crouched down. You know, he's got his knees bent, dramatically bent, and he's still taller than Islam. And, you know, I mean, he couldn't get him down, but he won the round. He had to have won that round 10-9. And now Ian Machado Garry looking to even the score in a potential 5-round fight to end the 16-fight win streak of Islam Makhachev and become the welterweight champ that he said he has been predetermined and predestined to become since the day we laid eyes on him and heard what he had to say. And his arms are so long. I mean, he's got there he goes, a jab. And as he threw the jab, Islam came in and tried that little shovel left, which is, you know, half hook, half uppercut. Glanced him a little bit with that. Garry just keeping the arm out straight. Man, oh man, looking to find that range with a big right hand. And if he does, Islam will be in big trouble. I'll tell you that. Islam lands a nice leg kick to the inside of Ian Machado Garry, who throws a high kick and Islam backing out of the way. But you can see the trepidation, the caution from the champion, Islam Makhachev. He's not just rushing in like he does in every other fight just to take you down 1,000 times. I think he realized how hard that is too and how much energy he needs to expend to do it. Being very, very careful right now, like his coach has told him to do. Has to be in the stand-up. And Ian Machado Garry coming straight forward with that foot, with the heel into the top of the knee and the bottom of that quad. Wow. Oh, Garry coming in. Now they're in the clench. Oh, nice body shot from Garry. Islam's got him clenched. Garry pushing him back into the cage. Very physically strong. Very physically strong is Ian Machado Garry. Garry was doing a good job parrying there. And oh man, Islam with a high kick hits Garry across the face. He goes tumbling backwards. I'm not sure if that really hurt him or if it just threw him off balance. Now Islam with a combo throwing punches. Garry gets the underhook. So, oh, Islam snaps him over, turns him over into a throw, and now he's got him on the ground. Garry's flat on his back. Islam Makhachev with a beautiful job. Man, so now Islam is looking for side control, and Garry's flat on his back in the middle of the octagon with 2 minutes left, and the savagery of Islam Makhachev is about to start. And this is where he wins his fights. Islam Makhachev with a beautiful head kick, spun Garry down. Yeah, he caught him flush on the right side of the face with that big left foot. Came up with the head kick, knocked him down, and then stunned him, and now he's on top of him. Ian Machado Garry did not see that coming. Beautiful job by the champion. You know, Javi Mendez is proud of that. AKA kickboxing, after all. You know what I'm saying? And he had all those wrestlers, DC and, you know, Khabib and Cain Velasquez. And, of course, you know, smart. You're an elite wrestler. You go learn from a great kickboxer. 120 and counting left in the round. So it's going to be 2 rounds to none. Makhachev. Question is, will Garry survive this round? He doesn't really look hurt. He doesn't look gassed at all. He's been training with Damian Maia to, obviously situation just like this. Very good job defensively on his back, kind of like Mackenzie Dern in that last fight against Gillian Robertson. Under a minute left in round number 2. And Islam realizing he's dealing with a big, strong human here. Not easy for him, but very quick in the grappling exchanges. Makhachev now throwing elbows into the sides of Garry, who's turtled up, got his head in between the legs of the champion, who's coming from the opposite side. Always working for a submission is Islam Makhachev. Now he's got the other leg of Garry. He's going to try to roll him over. Nope, Gary's too strong, man. He's so strong. And when that weight's coming down, it's just very hard to manipulate a man of that strength and that size. But Islam's got his arms around the midsection now, up under the armpits now, actually. And Ian Machado Garry, with 10 seconds left in the round, he's going to survive again. A better round for the champion this time. It's definitely going to be 2 rounds to none. 3, 2, 1, and round 2 in the books. So Ian Machado Garry survives 2 rounds against Islam. Man, that high kick came up and just caught him flush on that right cheek. I don't think it really hurt him terribly, but a right hand and then a left kick, and then he stumbles down, gets right back up, but Islam rushing in and ends up with a throw to get on top. Caught him with the toes, though. If he hit him any further up on the foot as opposed to down on the toes, that might have been night-night for Ian Machado Garry, but obviously super tough with the chin, obviously super tough in the grappling exchanges. He's telling him, don't back up straight. He says, if you get him up against the fence, keep him there. Keep him in that line. Islam's really tired. He's sweating, and he is breathing very heavy. What are you guys thinking of this fight so far? Are we doing a good job for you? Look at those numbers in the chat. Smash that like. Hit that subscribe. Welcome to MMA Weekly as we get set for round number 3, our live coverage, UFC 330. Yeah, Garry did take some damage. You're right about that. 87 the ticket. Start the clock. Round 3. Let's go. It's a hell of a fight, man. Ian Machado Garry is representing. Now, he hasn't gotten much offense going at all. Like, he has not done anything offensively, but he has survived, and he has weathered the storm, more than weathered the storm, against a guy who not many people have. But he's definitely up 2 rounds to none, as Islam is. So a pivotal swing round here for Ian Machado Garry. Obviously, clearly, he has to win this round, because if he doesn't, you know what I mean, he's going to need a finish. And not that he can't get one, but he's got this length, and he's not really throwing his hands. He's got the jab out there. He's just parrying with the jab. Parry, 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 parry. Teep kick, parry. Parry, 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 parry. Teep kick, parry. I mean, I'm waiting for him to let the hands go a little bit here. He's got the wide stance. The back leg is so far in back of the front foot. It's sideways back there. He's loading up for a kick. Islam's probably waiting for that kick. But Islam's being aggressive. He's always aggressive in the striking game as well. Level changes, changing from orthodox to southpaw, back and forth. It's parry, teep, parry, teep, parry, teep. You know what I'm saying? From Ian Machado Garry, teep kick, parry, teep kick, parry. It's defensive. Everything's defensive. He's not throwing jabs. He's looking like he's getting the timing down, but he's not ever throwing them. He hasn't really thrown rights. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but Islam's still moving around like crazy. And Ian Machado Garry is just kind of standing there in that stance and hardly doing anything. He's trying to set him up for a high head kick, but Islam really moving and was really sweating. And that cardio is legendary, but how long does it hold up against the guy who's hardly moving in there? And he's just kind of going, and just throwing teeps and parrying with the jab. But I feel like Ian Machado Garry has got some openings, man. I feel like he could be connecting with some shots if he would just throw them, but he's not throwing them. That's it. It's just defensive, jab and teep kick. Parry, teep. Just what are we doing here? He's just not an offensive striker. Like Islam said, he's just staying defensive and not doing anything offensive. And now he gets taken down again, single leg by Islam. 2:30 left in the round. And Ian Machado Garry just kind of, not doing anything offensively at all. at all. Now he's up and he's got Islam's back, standing behind him. Use that strength and keep him against the cage. Now he hits him a couple times. Lets him off. I don't know if I'd have let him off. I don't know. I mean, it's easy for me to say. He's the one fighting the title fight. I'm sitting here commentating on it, but you know what I'm saying. But Garry takes the center of the octagon. Islam really working in this fight. Impressive. The volume of the champion, the cardio, obviously. 2 minutes left in round 3. He's sweating. He's breathing heavy, but he's fine. Absolutely fine. And Garry's still cool as a cucumber, but just not doing anything offensively. Just not throwing anything. You know, you think you get in a championship fight, you're going to want to empty the clip, but he's not doing anything of the sort in this fight. Coming forward, now he throws a right hand. About time. Nice job, double jab by Ian Machado Garry. I'm going to call him Ian Machado Perry if he keeps parrying all night long. Oh, well, straight up with a front kick. Just missed. Islam's quick, backed out of there. He's trying to stay at secondary distance, come in and come out. Give Islam credit. He wants to take away the reach. 2 ways to do that is to stay way outside. You can get in and get out, obviously, from any distance if you can. But the other way to do it is to be in that kitchen, in the phone booth with him. And he's not really doing that either. But Ian Machado Garry is just keeping that arm out there, trying to keep Islam away from striking distance, and he's not really throwing anything. I mean, and Islam's so quick and so good at changing levels defensively. Man, it's under a minute left in round number 3, and we really haven't seen much offense from the challenger. We've seen it from the champion, the takedowns. He's up a couple of rounds, and he might be up another round here. I don't know if Ian Machado Garry's, he's still fighting his fight, but he's just so hesitant to do anything offensively. I think he's going to cost himself another round, and he's going to have to get a finish to win the fight. And I know Islam has burned a ton of energy. There's no doubt about that. So maybe that's the strategy. Burn him out and then wait for him to open up and then catch him. And you haven't really thrown much, so you haven't shown him anything. So, spinning back fist attempt by Garry. Spinning head kick, just misses. Islam's so quick. 2 seconds. 1, round 3 in the books. Surviving 3 rounds against Islam, who's got a little bit of blood coming off the side of his nose and under his eye, but more of a scratch than anything. Big, deep breath as he hits his corner for the champion, and he's literally pouring sweat. And Garry's just kind of been just chilling the whole time. And it hasn't really expended a lot of energy on the bottom either and on the ground. So I think that, if you're Ian Machado Garry, it's a double-edged sword here because you're probably down 3 rounds to none and you need a finish. But maybe you're just, betting on this guy wearing himself out, and then you're able to finish him, Man, I think it was a beautiful job by Garry to escape that ground position and spin back around. Makhachev pulled that leg out, was able to reverse it and get back up on his feet. Beautiful job by Ian Machado Garry. Islam Makhachev very tired, trying to act like he's not. Garry now breathing a little bit heavy and sweating a little bit more, but not much. He hasn't expended a lot of energy, hasn't thrown much. This has to be a strategy. And he does this he just wins by decision. He's not always an aggressive striker. But remember what he did to keep Bilal Muhammad off him. Islam looking to box now. Garry is confident. You're surviving. You've already shown that he can't really have his way with you on the ground and just use brute strength to control you. He hasn't been able to just keep you down there. He wasn't able to even get him on the ground and keep him there in the first round. So if you're Ian Machado Garry, you have to feel really good about that. But what I'm wondering, is he gaining momentum, or we'll see? And will he eventually start to let those hands go? That's my biggest question, bro. Let them go. Let them go, man. You got 9.5 minutes left. This might not be his first title shot. Some people thinking Garry might have snuck that last round. I'm not so sure myself. That's literally a coin flip with the 3 blind mice. Especially you got Pennsylvania judges. It's not, a town that has a ton of fights in it. Mixed martial arts fights, UFC fights. You're always, it's always a little hairy in places like that. Islam can't even get close to him, though. Garry backing up a little bit for the first time from that striking of Islam. I think Islam caught him with one on the way out there. But Garry still, now he throws a combo. Rare combo that he's thrown tonight. Still in that wide stance, that arm all the way out, that lead arm. Islam rushing in for a single leg. He's got it. Garry refusing to go down. Oh, man. No, that's not a takedown. This is not a takedown. Garry's got his back. Wow, the brute strength of Ian Machado Garry. Islam had the single leg, could not finish the takedown, and now Ian Machado Garry looking to sprawl out of it. A grappling exchange here. Islam's trying to end up on top position, and he's got him by the midsection. Now Islam has his back up against the cage as Ian Machado Garry stands up tall with those tree trunk legs of his. Islam on his back with under 3 minutes left in round number 4. What a fight. And this is with nothing offensively, really, from Ian Machado Garry. He's not breathing heavy. Islam's not able to just throw him around, man. This is like wrestling your big brother. Body frame-wise, man, not easy. Expending so much strength and so much energy. The trunks of Islam are soaked in sweat. And they're not the tights either. That sweat's running right down, dripping off. That's crazy. He is literally losing 10 pounds during this fight. He's getting lighter by the minute. He's got a 72% chance to win on Polymarket, 28% for Ian Machado Garry as we hit the 2-minute mark in round number 4. It's Greece. It's MMA Weekly. Smash that like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell. Islam looking for 17 in a row. Ian Machado Garry looking to become what his nickname has always suggested he would be. The future is now. Islam still got those arms in on that single leg. Oh, now he picks him up and dumps him down, but still not a takedown. Picked him up and tried to slam him. Garry landed in a push-up position. He's not breathing heavy. He's nodding at his corner. We got a minute and a half left in round 4. He's definitely sweating a lot more and breathing a little bit heavier, but Islam expending so much energy, but just refusing to relent. Still working. That Dagestani way. Still trying those inside trips and doing anything he can to take Ian Machado Garry to the ground, and it's just not working at all. Unbelievable as Garry comes up with a couple punches, but just Islam now trying to stand him up against the fence, and he still at any second could drop down, but Gary's got another underhook, and he's so strong. So strong. Wow. And Islam continuing to drive for the takedown. Gets him down for a second, but I don't know if that's a takedown or not. Still now digging that shoulder up. They're up on the feet again. Yeah, back up to the feet. I guess they did score that a takedown. He's got to break free. Hasn't been able to break free. He's hitting Islam with some hard shots to the body as Islam's got his shoulder dug in just below the rib cage of Ian Machado Garry. But, Gary's got his left arm underneath the right arm of Islam. Had the underhook. Islam still trying to spin and throw him with that leg in there. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Ian Machado Garry, so strong. 5 seconds left in round 4. 3, 2, 1, and that round's in the books. They're going to go to the 5th round. There's blood coming from somewhere. It's all over Ian Machado Garry. I think it might be Islam's blood. Wow. I don't know what Ian Machado Garry is going to do to get any offense going, but he has not allowed Islam to do what he's done to just about everybody else. Kicks or jump knees, combination. He's got to do something offensively because right now he's not going to win this fight. Islam's face is all scratched from being up against the cage. I think the blood was coming off of Islam's face down onto Ian Machado Garry. And I don't think that, wow. He got hit a couple times, but those are scratches from going up against the cage, his face. That reminds me of Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos 3. I was right there, cage side in Houston for that one. And Cain's face was pressed up against the fence, and it hit it so hard that it ripped the fence out from the canvas. Nice hugging it out between these two as we get set for round number 5. They want the crowd to scream and cheer. Islam is exhausted. Ian Machado Garry doesn't look too tired. He's got to go for the kill shot here in round number 5. It's his one chance. And now I think he realizes that he's seen everything Islam has, and now he's just got to let it go. And Islam hasn't seen what he has. He hasn't been throwing it. It's been defensive. It's been parrying. It's been teep kicks. It's been all that. But now, man, oh man, we're looking at some body kicks. We're looking at some opportunities here. Does he land a couple of combinations? Has Islam been tired out? Do the hands drop just a little bit? They look like they are. Is he vulnerable to a high kick? Is he vulnerable to some combos? Will Islam, flip the script as he's done before and land another big shot like he did with that head kick earlier? I mean, anything's in play here. Ian Machado Garry with a nice right hand. I mean, Ian Machado Garry has got to start teeing off here in round number 5. If this has been the strategy all along, you got to let it go. High kick at the head does not, man, he's looking to set some things up here. He's being much more aggressive with the striking. He knows with 4 minutes left, this is his shot. The champion is tired. He's still moving really well, though. He's breathing heavy. He's mouth breathing a bit. Oh, nice right from Ian Machado Garry. Drives Islam back a little bit. 3:45 and counting. The urgency builds for Ian Machado Garry. Will he find an opening and land a shot that makes him the champion of the world, or will Islam hang on and defend the belt? That's pretty much what we're asking right now. 3:30 left in the fight. Garry throwing kick after kick. Man, those pterodactyl arms, he's not using them at all. He's got to start throwing punches. Jab, jab, two, jab, jab, two. Oh, you can't let him in there for a single leg again, and he's got it. And now, Islam trying to drive through. Right back up is Ian Machado Garry, but we're right about the 3-minute mark, and now Islam's got him up against the cage again. And this is not where you want to be if you're Ian Machado Garry. You want to be out there throwing strikes. He never let the hands go again. He's got to break free. Islam going to want to hang on here and expend every last bit of energy, man. He's going to be tired. His trunks are soaked. I've never seen trunks that material soaked like these are. He's lost 10 pounds or more, 15 during this fight. But a nice throw from Islam, and now he's got Garry on the ground. He's got his back. He's got the triangle just about locked in. Oh, he's first chance for a submission for Islam Makhachev. Does he get the late finish? I don't know if Ian Machado Garry is going anywhere now. Every advantage he had is out the window with just under 2.5 minutes left in the fight. He's got his back. He's got the triangle locked in. He's looking for the rear naked choke, and he's sweating profusely, exhausted, Islam Makhachev. But, man, with blood pouring off, I just don't think Ian Machado Garry's got a way out here as we approach the 2-minute mark. I just don't see it. I don't see it. 2 minutes left in the fight. Islam sitting up behind him. He's got his back. He's got the body triangle completely locked in. Garry trying to punch him backwards, obviously. Not always the best, you know what I mean? And his physical strength has been remarkable. But, man, I think he's going to look back on this fight and wonder why he didn't throw his hands more. I thought he could have landed a lot of shots on Islam. But he's not getting up from this, man. It's like when Mackenzie Dern had the triangle on Gillian Robertson. Eventually, she did get out of it. But right now, we're talking 1:30 left in this fight, and there's no way Ian Machado Garry has done anywhere close to enough. I mean, control time, 3:38, 2:19, 16 seconds, 3:05 and 1:33. I think Gary's maybe won one round. Islam has controlled this fight on the ground as he's done so many times. Hasn't been able to physically manipulate him and manhandle him, but, he's still achieved his objective here for the most part in this fight. Will this fight make him a GOAT candidate? I don't know, man. He just didn't have, he's just not big enough at 170 to do that like he was at 155 and just throw dudes around with his strength. Ian Garry's too big. He weighs too much the day after weigh-ins and rehydrating and adding all that weight back on. I think this fight's going to end just like this with 40 seconds left. It's Islam has his back. He's got that body triangle locked in. And he's working for a choke that he's not going to get. And Gary's looking for an escape that he's not going to get. We got 30 seconds left, and Doc say it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And still, disappointing finish for Garry. I thought he should have let his hands go, man. I don't know why he didn't. It really is astounding to me that he didn't, and I think he's going to wish that he had, for sure. 15 seconds left. Islam going to hang on to the belt. He's desperately fighting for a finish all the way through. He doesn't want to win, this way, but Ian Machado Garry cannot escape that lock of the body triangle. 2, 1. And that one is in the books. No matter what Ian Machado Garry took away from him, wouldn't let him manhandle him, wouldn't let him get a submission. They're face-to-face, hugging it out, and Ian Machado Garry holding up the arm of the champion. Beautiful job by Islam. I mean, he caught him with the head kick. He didn't really do a ton on the feet. Neither guy did. He didn't manhandle him, didn't get the sub, didn't control him completely on the ground. It was a nonstop battle. And if you've ever wrestled, you know what that feels like. That was like 13 minutes of that fight where Islam was working like a dog nonstop, expending so much energy. Man, wrestling practice was hard. And I can't even imagine what he just did in terms of depletion of his energy. He's going to have to eat 100 steaks. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think about what these guys do. But the numbers are surging right now. Can't thank you enough here on MMA Weekly. We're going to get the official decision in a moment. But a little bit anticlimactic, I thought, that title fight. Both guys, I like that kind of fight. They both fought their asses off. It wasn't really, you know, something that was highlight worthy. There wasn't a lot of action on the feet. But, you know, overall, a good fight. And Ian Machado Garry held his own, but I really do believe he's going to massively regret not letting his hands go. He hardly threw anything punch-wise. And he just stood back there behind that guard. I just don't understand. I really don't. I mean, and look, you're against a guy like Islam, and anytime you throw anything, you're coming forward. It makes it easier for him to take you down. I'm not one to sit here and question their strategy. I just felt like with his reach, and I could see it with his left arm and his right arm, that I thought he had chances to, you know, to do some things on the feet that he did not even try to take. I think it's 49-46 all the way across the board. Oh, wow. One of the judges, again, 48-47. Wonder if it's the same one with Robertson and Mackenzie Dern. Islam ends still. 17 in a row. He breaks Anderson Silva's record, man. There's no denying that. Longest winning streak in UFC history. Islam Makhachev, the welterweight champion of the world. The two of them talking it out in the middle of the cage. Second loss, along with the Rakhmonov loss to Garry. Still hasn't been finished in his life. Man, oh man. Islam, Habib, and Usman Nurmagomedov, they got the Dagestani flag with all their names on it. He's got the two belts around his shoulders, you know, and Joe's asking him, what did he expect? And, you know, what was that? He was a little surprised. He said, he's a great fighter, good man, and I just respect him. He gave me a hard time, but I still prove every fight. Thank you for this match. Yeah, he's the best. He said, you certainly did prove, but what was this, you believe, the most difficult fight of your career? He said, well, let's see. Maybe in Australia, the first one, that was Volk. Very hard, yeah. Yeah, obviously that one was tough too. Man, oh man. Were you surprised he was able to defend the takedowns and keep himself on his feet so long? And just basically paraphrasing here, he says he's one of the best. You know, he's working with Damian Maia. And remember, it took the head kick early for Islam to kind of open it up, and he's coming forward, throwing punches, you know, picked him up and threw him down that one time. He says, do you feel different in your ability to control guys and submit guys at welterweight? He said, yeah, very hard to beat them. They're bigger, they're heavier. And that's what we talked about, the strength of Ian Machado Garry. He says, I take down all of my opponents. You know, he says, give him a hard time there. He says, thank you for all the people who come to support me. Joe shakes his hand. Thank you. But very difficult for him to take down and control Ian Machado Garry. Big, massive, huge opponent. One of the biggest and strongest guys he would fight at his weight class. And he passes the test, man. It wasn't highlight reel. You know, you got Prates down there. You got some guys who want that next shot, you know, in this division. And from what they saw tonight, I wonder, you know, how Morales and how Prates are feeling right now, because those guys are both savages, man. And Khabib talking to Ian Machado Garry, very classy, Khabib Nurmagomedov. You can never question that about him. He's fantastic. One of the nicest fighters I've met. Super cool dude, Khabib. Shout out to the legend. So let's see. He says, I've said it all week. When he came up and moved into this division, we should all sit back, show him respect to come up here and win that second belt. I believed in my heart and in my soul I was better than him. Tonight he won. I have no complaints, no excuses. This is the best camp of my life. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of my family. He's not hurt at all. I love my wife, my little boy. I fought to make them happy, and I'm proud of everything that I've done. I'm 28 years of age. I have a decade in this sport of domination, and this man won tonight, and that's okay. I can take that on my sleeve and go home, regroup, and get better. I think he's going to regret not throwing hands. He says, if you lose it in here, you'll lose it everywhere, meaning his head. He's I'm bulletproof as ever. I look at the people like Alexander Volkanovski, just in there 38 years. They just won world titles, the world champions of the world. So, yeah, I mean, he's saying all the right things, but he didn't let his hands go, man. I think that was a youthful and inexperienced mistake, man, being in a title fight. I just think he should have let his hands go. And I don't understand why the hell he didn't. I'm actually getting kind of mad about it for him and for me and for all of us, right? But, I mean, hey, I'm not in there fighting for him, and he just went 5 rounds with Islam. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to say a word? I'm just saying I think he's going to wish he let the hands go more. I don't know what you guys are thinking in the chat. Big numbers all night long. Really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. One of the judges gave Garry 2 rounds. The other 2 gave him 1. He says, I stand here as a man proud of what I've done, proud of where I've come from. I'm proud of where it takes me. He's confident in his masculinity. Everybody thinks he's getting dominated by his wife. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just happy and content the way he is. You ever think of that? Is that so bad? It's because it might not be the way you are. And most of you who are out there dissing him, talking about what his wife does to him, you probably get dominated by your wife, man. And you probably are taking that on him, because so many guys I know talk that crap and then they go home, oh, I'm sorry, honey. So, yeah, there's a lot of that going on out there, too, when it comes to Ian Machado Garry. Islam's all scratched up. His face, he's soaked, breathing heavy. He's the epitome of a dog in a good way. Just keep on coming and just never quit. You could be completely breathing heavy and sweating half to death, and this dude just keeps on going. Unbelievable, inspiring the way that he is, in there. And you got the 331 card coming up next month with Joshua Van and Alexandre Pantoja, and you got Sarukian and Hufia and the co-main. Man, that one took a lot out of me, that fight, as they wrap it up at the desk and we start to kind of come down here. What are you guys thinking? Final thoughts in the chat. We're going to get on out of here in just a couple of minutes, man. But wow, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the legacy of Khabib, of Islam. I mean, talk about that, right? I mean, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport, and the legacy proves it, So a great, great win, and Khabib retires, Islam takes over. Now I wonder if Khabib wishes he would have went longer, because now, I mean, the GOAT conversation, I don't think Khabib necessarily cares a ton about that. But man, oh man, what a night of fights, right? All the way across the board. 17 wins in a row. And the last 2 fights end in decision after only 2 decisions all night long, and they were both on the undercard, the prelims. Like you had the TKO Ribovics over Edson Barbosa, who retired right after the fight. And then you had Dustin Stoltzfus, the huge upset over Mansour Abdulmalik, who's lost 2 in a row now. By the way, Ribovics with the TKO at round 2, 132. Stoltzfus with the rear naked choke, round 2, 425. Beat him up first, choked him out second. Jalen Turner, 39 seconds, KO over Kawe Fernandes. Never got a kickoff. He tried a spinning back fist, and it did not end well. Mackenzie Dern, a unanimous decision, bulldog victory, outclassing Gillian Robertson on the feet. Couldn't submit her, controlled her on the ground, but Robertson spent most of the 5th round in top position, just couldn't hit her. And then Makhachev against Garry. It wasn't easy for the champion, the legend, Islam Makhachev, but he found a way to get it done. That's what champions do. Did Michael Jordan score 50 every game? No. Half the time he's slapping the ball away from Karl Malone with a steal to cement a win. You have to find a way to win when you don't win, or you're not able to win the way that you normally win. Make sense? You got to go deeper into your bag and find a way. You got to be relentless. You got to do all the things Islam did tonight, and he did them. You give him credit. He did them against a bigger, stronger opponent, and he was able to get the win, set the record, and keep the belt. Now you wonder what's next. You wonder what's next for Islam Makhachev, right? Will it be a guy like Prates, or will it be a guy like Morales? We'll see. Only the future will tell. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun to check that out and see on the way. And what a night of fights in Philadelphia. I mean, they got themselves a hell of a card. They got themselves a hell of a card tonight. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. I mean, you got Salt Lake City coming up. You got Abu Dhabi coming up, but LA first. You know what I mean? You got UFC Noche in Arizona, and then you got right after that, the week after, Crypto.com in LA with Van and Pantoja, too. Sarukian and Hufia. It's going to be Brian Ortega's on that card. It's going to be a good card. Really good card. Rodriguez and Silva in Arizona. Moreno's on that card. Gastelum, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Going to be a lot of fun, man, celebrating UFC Noche in Arizona. Scott, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I just wonder how long you want me to go. I'll go as long as you want. You know me.
Did you hear Ian Garry's comments afterwards?
I didn't hear him. I saw him on closed captioning. Yeah, his confidence seems unshakable.
I thought that was the best thing he said all week. You know, with all kind of the weird stuff going on, but yeah, I think he held himself up. That's how you take a loss, is the way he did, and you know, he didn't mount any real offensive pressure on him.
No, I keep saying I wish he would have let his hands go, Scott. He had the reach. He just never let him go.
I think it's just so hard with how Islam fights. It puts these guys on the total defensive, and they're not able to really do that.
Weight at all, right? Yeah, you come forward with your weight at all, it's a takedown. That's what it is.
I think if this had no time limits, I think Ian Garry would win. I mean, Islam was getting tired. He was giving those shots to his ribs, and he was getting tired. In that fourth round, Ian Garry did some damage to him in his ribs and his face. But
he did.
At no point was Ian Garry going to win the fight. I mean, Islam just had it tied up.
Yep, and we'll see. I mean, I don't know if he's going to face anybody as big and as strong as Ian Machado Garry, but I think Islam could have some trouble with either Morales or with Prates. I think either one of those guys could give him trouble. And so we'll see. But, man, he sets the record. I mean, can you believe Anderson Silva's record got broken for guys like us who have been around that long? I didn't think I'd ever see it, Scott. And you know, Jones is the asterisk there with the Matt Hamill thing. That should be the record. But, I mean, Anderson Silva's record, I never thought it would be touched.
Did they take that away? Didn't they remove that?
No, they wanted to, but they never did.
They never did.
I said earlier that if it weren't John Jones,
I don't think anybody will ever replace John Jones as the ultimate GOAT.
No.
To be honest. You know, and there'll be those people that, because of the steroid stuff, will say that he's not, and that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody ever overtaking what Jones has done in over a decade. But yeah, dude.
No, but the Khabib, Abdulmanap, Nurmagomedov legacy tree just keeps on growing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dagestani wrestling, man, has put the MMA world on its heels. And
dude, that first takedown in the first round was incredible, man. He shot from 10 feet out and crawled the last 4 feet to get his ankle and still took him down. That's insane. If you've ever wrestled and you've ever tried to do that, it's almost impossible to even get the leg in that scenario. And to be able to be strong enough and be able to get just the bottom part of his leg and still take him down, I mean, that was like an anaconda on a buffalo right there, man. That was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends. Like very impressive. But, at the end of the day, I want to see a fight, not wrestling.
I know. We get snobby. I get it. But a good card overall. And we had good numbers. We had people all over the world. We had a lot of people here with us tonight. Really glad that people keep coming back after all these years for us on the numbered fight nights, man. We're blessed.
Yep, we appreciate you guys coming on with us, and great work as always, Jim. And so you'll be at Noche in Phoenix in a couple weeks?
I do believe, yeah, man. I don't know if you're coming down or not, but we'll talk about that. We got some things to get to and some fun stuff coming our way, but that's going to be an interesting night for Arizona. I mean, you celebrate Mexican heritage and history in a place like Phoenix, Arizona, and you got guys here like Cain Velasquez, a champion, Kelvin Gastelum, a longtime fighter, an Ultimate Fighter winner, Henry Cejudo, a 2-division champ, Tracy Cortez at bantamweight. You got Waldo Cortez Acosta on that card, and he's not Mexican, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, you've got a lot of Mexican fighters, very proud Mexican fighters coming from the state of Arizona, and you've got a lot of them who won on that card. Some of them got on the card, but a lot of heritage and history here. So it's kind of nice. They move it from San Antonio, they do it in the Sphere, then they bring it here, and they move it around. But in no place that they could go is there more pride from the Mexican community, the Mexican American community, and the Mexican community in Arizona. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a big celebration. There's going to be a ton of fighters running around everywhere out there. And, I'm single too, so I think Noche is going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm saying,
Whoa.
but yeah, no, that thought just kind of, came through my head. My dad used to tell me, stop thinking with your mouth, but it's, meaning, have that pause button before you just blurt out everything that crosses your mind. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of food, a lot of festivities, parties everywhere, and a great fight card. So, and then right after that, a week later, I mean, who in the world is just not chomping at the bit, salivating for that chance to finally see Joshua Van and Alessandro Pantoja actually fight and not have a freak injury take that fight away from us after what we saw against Tatsuro Taira. From Van, he's 24 years old. Pantoja looking to be that, the unquestioned all-time second GOAT of that division, because obviously Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse. But when you think about it, just to see those two fight, you got Sarukian and Hoofy on that card. Ortega's got a big fight. So there's some really good stuff coming up, man. And then, you got the Salt Lake City card, Abu Dhabi, New York City, and then maybe another Vegas one to wrap up the year. But, I mean, I'd say overall, as much as people were talking about this card and trashing it, these fighters represented tonight, man. When you think about what we saw, and only 4 of the fights, Scott, were done and finished, and decisions. You had, the bonuses coming up, and I think like, Mackenzie, Dern, and Gillian Robertson could be fight of the night. Makhachev and Garry, certainly not the fight of the night, but Turner could win a bonus. Stoltzfus could win a bonus. Rybovich could win a bonus. Charles Johnson, Dante Johnson, any of those guys could win a bonus. Neil Magny. But, man, I mean, we saw some great finishes. We saw some great submissions and a tremendous night of fights, which only the UFC can deliver no matter what you think about the card in advance.
For sure. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Islam. Watching him walk out of the octagon with the belts over his shoulder. I mean, he was tired. You could tell he had had one of the toughest fights of his life, and then you saw an Ian Garry that looked fresh in there, but he lost. There's no doubt about it. But what do you think Islam is thinking right now as he walked out from that fight? Do you think he's reconsidering staying at this weight division? Do you think he's looking at guys that, man, it's tougher than I thought, or you think he's feeling pretty good right now?
I don't think he thinks that way, and I think his team's going to have a choice to make. That's a great point that you bring up, Scott, because you got Prates out there, you got Morales out there, and those two guys are bad mofos, and they're big guys. You know what I mean? So he's not, and he ran through Jack Della Maddalena easily. I thought beat Ian Machado Garry, not easily because he's depleted completely, but in terms of, like you said, there was no shot Garry was going to win that fight anytime soon. It just wasn't happening. So, but I think if he goes back down to lightweight, I think he just absolutely mauls Gaethje. I do. I love Justin Gaethje, and I think he would destroy Topuria. I just don't see that division being much of a challenge for him. So I'm wondering, like, he's got the record.
What about Arman? Think Arman would give him any trouble?
Wrestling-wise, that's probably the toughest matchup for him down there, but I don't think so. Islam's way better on the feet than people give him credit for. You saw that head kick.
Oh, dude, the head kick and then the judo throw, that was the best part of the night, I felt.
Yeah, the judo throw, and he's lucky he got him. Garry was lucky he caught him with the toes on that kick. Any further up the foot, lights out, right? So Islam, remember, he got Volk with the head kick too, so I think that he would beat Arman on the feet. And Sarukian spends too much time with Nina Drama, man. He needs to cut that out. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm kidding. But my point is there. I think that, it would be the easy way out. I don't know if they have it in their DNA to take the easy way out from that part of the world and on that team. I just don't know. But I would think it would make sense for him after, seeing what it's like against these guys. He's clearly not a welterweight, Scott. Don't you? I mean, he's beating them because he's that good. But he's definitely a lightweight, way more than he's a welterweight. There's no question.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll they're gonna game plan after this and make a decision. And I don't know which way they'll go, but definitely I think after this fight, you gotta consider whether you stay here or not.
Well, or whether you keep fighting. Remember, Khabib walked away undefeated. That's worth mentioning. I'm not saying I have any info or I think it's going to happen, but it's not unprecedented for those guys to just walk away on top and then turn it over to the new guys and start coaching.
Yeah, it's possible, but he did say that he wanted to go for a few more fights to solidify, no take away any question marks of where he stood as in the GOAT conversation. So it'll be
then
interesting.
If he goes back down to lightweight, Scott, that does not play into that, doesn't it? Like, people will say he ducked and he went back down. He didn't want to fight Morales or Prates or whatever, and then he went back down to fight the smaller guys and he thought he'd get an easier win. But on the other hand, beating a guy like Gaethje, right now, and if he goes back down, he probably gets Gaethje right away. I mean, I would think you get Gaethje right away. So, I mean, no matter what, they have options. And I think his manager also is Ali Abdelaziz, right? So we know Ali knows what he's doing, and we know Khabib is definitely steering that ship all the way. So, but he has all the options in the world, as he should. When you're that great and you're the all-time record holder and you've beaten everybody and you've won 17 fights in a row, you should call every shot. I'm a firm believer in that. He should call every shot within reason, right? And Dana's great at letting those guys do that. Who do you want to fight? Who do you want next? And there's no clear number one on either side, is there?
Yeah.
Do you say Prates or Morales is clearly a number one contender right now? Because I don't. They both want to be.
I still think he it edges them out, but everything's going to be tougher. Everything's tough in that division.
What about Mackenzie Dern? Are you a little more impressed by her tonight and her performance?
I don't know.
Man, Robertson was strong, dude. Physically strong. I mean, very similar to Ian Machado Garry. If they were just so physically strong. I mean, Islam dominated that fight, but Garry was so physically strong. He couldn't dominate him on that second level. Like, he clearly won every exchange just about. He just could not hold him there, could not continuously take him to the ground and hold him there. And Mackenzie Dern couldn't sub Robertson because she was so strong, but they both clearly dominated their fights.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think the skill level's that deep.
I don't think Mackenzie can beat Zhang Weili, though. I don't know if it's the same Zhang Weili. That's the only question I have. If it was Zhang Weili from 3-4 years ago, she wouldn't. I don't think. But the thing about Mackenzie Dern that impresses me so much right now is Jason Perillo, man. There's no denying that dude. He's an elite striking coach, man. What a great coach. I mean, he's been around a long time, Bisping, so many others. But you can see Mackenzie Dern from fight one in the UFC to now. I mean, you go back and watch those fights, which I did coming into this. It's not even – she's just a completely different human, striking-wise, than she was. It's not even it's just a whole nother level.
Yeah, totally. It's a fight I'd like to see. But kudos to Robertson. She gave it a good shot, and it was it was a good fight. Well, should we call it? I got to get to my guy in the media back room right now. We have Dana's going to be coming up here soon. So
yeah, do me a favor and text me how we did, all right? And I'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you as always,
all right,
Scott.
buddy.
Really appreciate you. All right.
Good
Let me
job.
just wrap it up here. All right. Thank you so much for watching us here on MMA Weekly. The press conference is coming your way. We got all that and more. You're going to hear from Dana White, Islam Makhachev, all the fighters, Mackenzie Dern of UFC 330. Big night for Islam. He sets the all-time record, and what a win it was over his toughest opponent to date, Ian Machado Garry. Mackenzie Dern, same thing could be said about her with Gillian Robertson. They outlasted their opponents. That's what champions do. And Stills in the main and co-main, Jalen Turner. Man, what a vicious KO over Kawe Fernandes. And then Stoltzfus, the huge upset. 2 losses in a row for Abdul Malik. And Ribovics retires Edson Barbosa with a TKO. For Scott Peterson, everybody else at MMA Weekly, want to thank you so much for being here tonight from all over the world on the #1 UFC Fight Night show in the world, unquestioned, numbers-wise, MMA Weekly's live coverage of UFC 330. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. We'll see you in LA for UFC 331. Thank you so much for being here. Keep your game tight and your mind right. We'll see you next time.